Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting to order. We have the prayer and the pledge by Councilman Dandolph.
Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Lord, please continue to watch over our mayor and the council members to make decisions to move the city forward. Please protect our city and our parish for this hurricane season that is upon us. We ask this through Christ our Lord. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, and justice for all.
Roll call.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas.
Present.
Councilmember Brooke Marcotte. Here. Councilmember Marlon Lewis.
Here.
Councilmember David Broussard.
Here.
Councilmember Deidre Ledbetter.
Here.
Councilmember Dee Dee Johnson-Reed.
Here.
Councilmember Dan Dahl.
Here.
Thank you. Public comments. Do we have anyone to turn in a comment card? Seeing and hearing none, I take this time to ask you to put your phones on silent or vibrate, and we roll into item 2A.
Acceptance of the minutes, regular meeting of June 18th, 2024, which were published on June 26th, 2024.
I need a motion.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Marlon Lewis and a second by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. Is there any discussion on our June 18th meeting minutes? Hearing and seeing none, please vote your machines. Thank you. 3A.
Resolution number 2473, a resolution approving change order number 2 for the Bayou Teche Museum Project, Phase 3, FP&C project number 50-ML1-17-02, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Councilwoman Dee Dee Johnson-Reed and Councilman David Broussard. We have David Ale here, and this is an only-time change order, our favorite kind.
Yep, there's no dollar value associated with this change order. It's just an extension of 17 days. During the construction, we had a delay with the fire marshal being able to schedule in and do their construction inspections. And so that was critical path timeline for the contractor, and so that they were not able to proceed with some of the work. So this is to cover that extension of time.
And there was no findings?
No, it was
Okay.
fine.
Okay, cool.
And this is just a construction visit. The final inspection is when they do just for occupancy, but this is when they just look at half of a firewall and just components like that.
Okay.
Anybody else? And I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. 3B.
Resolution number 2474, a resolution approving change order number 2 for the American Rescue Plan Act project entitled Upgrades to Steamboat Pavilion, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and Councilman Marlon Lewis, and we got lucky. This one's just time as well.
So this change order, the contractor is collecting from basically the start of construction, their rain delay days that they're associated with the Steamboat Pavilion expansion project. So it brings them up to date from the end of May 2024 is the last day that they collected. We'll have days associated with June, July, August, keep going forward. But for now, this is just kind of catching up. So this puts their substantial completion on September 2nd, 2024, and that likely will change.
Okay.
Questions, comments? Then please vote your machines. Thank you, David.
Quick question, I'm sorry.
Oh,
should I-
sure.
How long is it gonna be before the completion of that steamboat pavilion extension?
You know, Marlo, that's
Yes, sir.
they're progressing, and they're about 50 to 55% on the construction side. But ultimately, you know, we're hoping that they don't try to go to the very end on it.
Okay,
It's got to be sometime in the fall
okay.
at this point.
So I might be able to cut the ribbon.
Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Let me come cut the ribbon if I'm not.
You can cut the ribbon.
Okay,
And
thank
you can come whenever you want.
All
I
right.
hand you the scissors. Good, thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
3C.
Resolution number 2475, a resolution awarding contract to JWC Environmental Incorporated for the procurement of rotary drum screen equipment and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
This is 2 screens. This is the big project for the headworks to get ready for First Solar and that increased capacity. It's $667,000, and it was a little below where we need it to be, so that's really good. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and Councilwoman Brooke Markcott. Any discussion on this item?
So,
Yes, ma'am.
we're not concerned, I mean, do we understand what the difference is in the bids? I mean, we're talking about a $300,000 difference.
We do. Our engineers have looked at it. We do. One thing that is comforting, I've been a contractor for a long time, look at the alternate, which is for a
Yeah.
third drum screen. The prices are the same. So if we're buying 2 drum screens for 600 and we're buying 3, if we had taken that other bidder for 900, it's very kind of telling that both of the alternates are 300. So I don't think there's a mess up there. The engineer doesn't either. He went through all the specs to make sure, what we're getting. We're not gonna take the alternate right now. We know what another drum screen will cost us, but we're just gonna go with the 2 for now and then bid out the rest of the project to make sure that we have enough money for the total package.
So, and this is within budget,
Yes,
okay.
yes. Yes, sir.
So Mayor, if they put 1, 2, or 3, is the price different? Is it cheaper to do 2 versus 1? Or later on if we want to put another one?
Right. We have the design for 3, and when we bid the next package, we're gonna put a third drum screen as an alternate. And so we don't think it's gonna be much more different. I think it's gonna be another 300-something thousand it's the screen plus the labor. This is, we're
Right.
buying the screens to expedite the project. That way we could get them ordered now. It didn't hurt that the contractor didn't mark up 600-something thousand in his bid. And then we can function with 2 new drum screens because they're larger, plus the whole head works is being reworked. The third one would be nice to have. The third one would fix this place up for a very long time. So we just gotta wait because we are under a timeline to get the project done. So I think we're being wise by saying we'll add a third one by alternate. And that way, if our project would go a more expensive than we would hope, we just put it off till later.
And then the third one currently is not in budget, though. That would take us over our budget.
That would take us to our budget,
To the
but,
budget or over the budget?
well, to the budget, but the big bid's coming.
Okay.
So I think we should wait, and so does our engineering team and Craig, because we want to make sure we get the rest of it in budget. Where we could have a problem is the headwork, fixing the actual plant, not installing this giant drum screen. That's where we want to get those bids so that we can be assured that we're not over the whole package.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a safety net,
Okay.
which is unusual for me, but that's what we're doing. Anybody else? Then please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 3D.
Resolution number 2476, a resolution approving certificate of substantial completion for the Sewer System Improvements Project, FPNC project number 50-ML1-20-01, and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed and Councilman Marlon Lewis. Is there any discussion on this item? Hearing seen none, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 3E.
Resolution number 2477, a resolution authorizing the submittal of the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development Preservation and Reinstatement Initiative for Community Grant and providing for other matters in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, Councilman DeeDee Johnson-Reed. This is a grant that we're applying for. We think it's very important. While we don't have new trailers coming into the city, we have a lot of trailer parks and a lot of existing trailers. This is a grant, and the thing that we're the most excited about is that it would harden these trailers for natural disasters. When a natural disaster comes, you immediately hear saying, take shelter, if you're in a trailer, take immediate shelter. This will help. Now, while we're doing this, it also does rehab to trailers. It also lets us do, as we understand, as we're putting the grant in, streets and sewer and lift stations that service these trailer parks. So it's a way that we get a safer community, we fix some issues, and we get to fix some of our infrastructure. So we're cramming to do this. Full credit, Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed brought this to us. We don't have a lot of time, so we have been really working on it. We actually have a public hearing on Friday We're closed on Friday because the governor made it a holiday. However, I'll be here because we did advertisements for it and somebody could come. So we'll be here waiting at 9 and see if anybody comes, and we'll probably just have it outside on the steps and then go about our way. But we're cramming to put this in. If we wouldn't get it this year, we now know about it, so it's on our radar to apply for it next year. And I consider it, as we're doing one block at a time, which we're gonna talk about later, one block at a time is gonna renovate some houses in some disproportionately impacted low census tracts. This would do the same thing for trailers. So it's another version of the same kind of work we're doing with our ARPA money. So I'll open it up for
Well,
comments and questions.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so, we can also use some of that money to kind of landscape or put like a playground for the kids in that community, because a lot of these trailer parks are not necessarily family-friendly, so we have some extra money. We could do something like that as well, correct?
If the trailer park owner will let us, we are looking at the grant and trying to put in an allowance for those site improvements. And then that'll be kind of a as-come basis, because, if they have an area that's already a playground, which as I've ridden around, I haven't seen that.
Right.
They cram in every renter they can.
Right.
So, that would be really up to them. But if it's possible to do it, I think the grant would allow it. So, I'm gonna put an allowance in and hope that we can figure that piece out.
And just so everybody knows, and correct me if I'm wrong, Mayor, but they don't, the property owner does not have to be in a trailer park to get repairs done to their trailer.
Correct.
Okay.
And see, we're never gonna be able to do, we have to be practical with this. So
Yeah.
we're gonna have an allowance, and it might be, we're still figuring all that out. It might be 100 trailers citywide, and it might be, 25,000 per trailer.
Right.
That's about all I think we're gonna be able to do, but that's 2.5 million. I mean, if anybody's counting, that's a huge investment. And like, again, anchoring those trailers, doing whatever we can to harden them, to make them safer. If we can make the appearance better, great. If there's some other things we can do, and then it is an opportunity to fix the city's infrastructure that services those areas.
So, if you're a praying person, pray we get this grant. Second of all, I'd like to also thank my constituent, Mary Davis, who asked me about this, and I didn't know a whole lot about it, so went in there and did some research and everything, and then asked the mayor if he would consider, applying for this grant, because I felt like it'd help a lot of people in the community. So I want to definitely make sure credit goes to Mary Davis, not me, because she's the one who asked me about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank her too. I agree. And like I said, we trying. It was a little late. We are cramming. I'm not sure what's gonna happen, but the good thing is it's now on our radar, and it's something that they do every year.
Right.
How many existing trailer parks lie within the city limits? Do you know?
I have a sheet in my office.
I'm just curious.
I don't wanna guess,
I mean,
but
so-
it's pretty many.
I mean, I'm
you know,
trying to count. I know when we stopped letting them exist, I was
There's
curious.
probably, if you count of the smaller ones, I bet there's 15 to 20, easily.
So
close to 20.
I mean, there's a huge need for sure.
Oh, yeah, we won't, and then we have to be practical of what we think we can get done. So, we could ask for triple of what we're asking, but we wouldn't be able to administer it. I mean, we have to start somewhere. The good thing is, with most of these kind of grants, you get in one year, you finish your project, you have a track record, you can reapply. So I'm looking at this might be something that we can latch on to for the next few years.
Yeah, that'd be
But
awesome.
we gotta start,
Mayor,
Yes, sir.
my question is that Mary?
Yes, Mary
Okay,
Davis, yeah.
'cause they got probably 50 Mary Davis, but they got only one
One
Mel.
Mel Davis, yes,
I just want to make sure the right Mary Davis get
yes,
the credit.
yes. She's the treasurer for Downtown Neighborhood Association.
Okay.
So it is Mary, I call her Mel, but then when I talked about it in the public, I used to say Mary because I hear her saying Mary. But, I grew up calling her Mel, so it's the same person. Thank you for making that distinction.
Did that clarify? Anybody else? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you all very much. 3F.
Resolution number 2478, a resolution appointing Edward Landry to the New Iberia Municipal Fire and Civil Service Board for a 3-year term to fill a vacancy created by the expiration of term for Edward Landry, whose term expires July 26, 2024.
I have a motion by Councilman Dan Dahl and a second by Councilman Marlon Lewis. He's here tonight as our requirement. He's done a great job for us, and I'm excited that he wishes to continue.
Awesome.
Yes, sir. Any questions or comments?
Thank you for serving, Ed.
Yep, thank you for serving.
Then I'd ask you to vote your machines. Thank you, sir.
Thank y'all so much.
Absolutely. 3G.
Resolution number 2479, a resolution accepting the resignation of Erica Sapak as a member of the Dangerous Animal Committee, effective immediately.
Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed. Is there any discussion?
This is the person that hadn't showed up, or is this a different person?
No, this is the lady that ran the dog shelter for
Oh, that's right,
quite a
because then
few
we have
years.
another one, yeah.
and did a great job, but since she's no longer running the dog shelter, she decided to get off.
Any chance we could have convinced her to come in, to stay on there to be the other person?
It's not our hire.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not our hire, it's not our,
No, I'm saying, it's our, I mean, we're appointing, we would,
As
look
the
for
board
somebody.
member, you talking
Yeah.
about the board?
Yeah, the
member.
board, to
Yeah.
stay on the board even though
oh,
she's.
yeah, no, I don't think so. I think she was
Okay.
ready to get off.
Okay, cool. Just
All right.
thought, since we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
debating the other one,
Uh-huh.
we might be able to nip that in the bud by getting her on there.
Someone resigns, I don't think they wanna.
Yeah, usually.
But
we
it's a
run.
board, it's not the job, so it's
I
different.
know.
Yeah.
So if there's nothing further on this one, please vote your machines. Thank you. 3H.
Resolution number 2480, a resolution appointing Amanda East, I don't know, as a member of the Dangerous Animal Committee.
East, that's it. I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Any discussion on this item?
She's not here, is she?
No, she's not.
Should we table this?
Informal?
We did inform, maybe she's late, I don't know, but she's not here, and I know our normal rule is, I don't want to table it, can we defer it?
Let's defer
Is
it.
that, we could defer it to the next meeting if she did, and if she shows up, we'll pick it back up?
Yep.
Is that fair enough?
Okay. I'll make a motion to defer item 3G, 3H.
I
3H.
second.
3H. Okay, so we have a defer by Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas and a second by Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed. So please vote your machines to defer. Okay, great, we'll defer it. Maybe we'll get lucky and she'll walk in. Let's see. Yeah, I was trying to decide if I want to talk about the dog show.
Oh.
I'm gonna pass. 3I.
Resolution number 2481, a resolution creating the administrative process for the Business Development Grant American Rescue Plan Act project.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed and Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and this is $149,500 of ARPA dollars that we have to spend. And what we have done is work to flesh out kind of the rules for this. With this, then we'll have an application, then we'll be able to go out and all of you can solicit as long as they meet the criteria. So this meeting is to discuss and hopefully approve this criteria, because we're under the gun that by the end of the year, we need to know who we're spending money with. We have till the end of this year, to 24, to commit the ARPA funds and know where we're spending them, with who. We have till 26 to spend them. So we spent a lot of time behind the scenes and discussions here, putting together these, trial run of the requirements. So that's what we're here to discuss.
So,
Yes, ma'am.
there were 3 items on here that I thought that in our meeting that we decided was an or, not an and they're, I guess the way it's listed here is like it's a requirement, and under the eligibility. And I thought in our meeting that we decided that those weren't requirements.
Okay.
And
well-
I'll, maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I was on the phone, so.
Let's talk about them. I mean,
Okay, so-
I don't remember, so spit them out. We'll figure it out.
And Jeff, please correct me if I'm wrong. I thought we said that it was, you could be a disadvantaged person owning a business, or you could be someone who was providing services to low-income people, low to moderate-income people. I don't read it this way. I mean, if you look at this, it says the business must be in operation, and I thought we said 1 year, but this is saying till 2020.
Because we got the money from COVID. We
But-
did decide, I thought.
Well, I
in
thought we said because
discussions-
it was or, it was one or the other. It wasn't that it had to be during the COVID time. Please correct me.
Well, where's the rule? I mean, do we have it?
I thought it said, it was like,
Yeah,
that was one of the requirements, but it wasn't like,
right.
it was and or, it was an or, it wasn't an and. You could be disadvantaged, or you could have been, disproportionately affected by COVID. At least, that's what I thought we said.
From the discussion, you know,
Yeah, I
kudos to
mean,
my
and
clerk.
again, I might have
She
missed
spent a
something.
lot of time researching the
Yeah.
rules and kind
Okay.
of looking, so.
Well, yeah, so
Yeah.
I just want to make sure we're all on the same page.
That's-
Because
that's
this
why-
will
that's why
eliminate
we
a lot of
doing-
people.
That's why we're doing
Right.
this, so that we are all on the same page.
Yeah.
Treasury presumes that the following small businesses are disproportionately impacted by the pandemic, and it's small businesses operating in qualified census tracts.
So it's and.
Excuse me, can you read
Oh,
that
I'm
again?
sorry. I'm
Lane?
the
I didn't hear it.
Yeah, her mic was off.
Oh,
Treasury presumes that the following small businesses are disproportionately impacted by the pandemic, and to small businesses operating in qualified census tracts.
Do they say when, though? Was there any time frame?
Well, the pandemic, so.
But the pandemic, I mean, maybe they didn't get affected till 2022. This is saying 2020. They had to be in existence before 2020. Maybe I started my business in 2022 and I got affected by it. I mean, I'm thinking about, and Marlon, you can help me with this, I'm thinking barbers and people who had to stop working, they were disproportionately maybe affected by this. But I thought in our discussion, and Jeff, please correct me if I'm wrong, I thought in our discussion, we said that it was low income or, and maybe I misunderstood because I was on the phone.
Well, I mean, I know we talked about the fact that we can't just give this to everybody. So it's
Right.
got to be for people who are needy.
Right.
Because that's what the Constitution says we can make donations to. So we can donate to the needy, or we can have an agreement with an organization or business that is in the that will commit to serving the needy. So we could do that. But, and that was that discussion. So I think that's an or, but I don't remember the time frame.
I remember and.
See, I thought we said or. I thought, because I kept,
thought it
Jeff
was-
and I kept
don't know,
talking
I thought
about
was
it.
and, but I could be wrong.
Yeah.
But, well, let's get back to the COVID thing. So I don't remember what the rule was. So does the rule say,
Under impacted small businesses, recipients can identify small businesses impacted by the pandemic and measures to respond in many ways. For example, recipients could consider decreased revenues or gross receipts and.
okay,
That's an example, though. That's not the only thing, correct?
Right.
Okay, I guess if we go back to 2020, there's possibility that we could miss some people we're trying to help. Because maybe if I didn't start the business in 2022 and I was affected by it, or 2021, is there any, and just to make sure we're following the rule, is there any way that we can look back 24 months instead of 48? And I'm only saying this now because we are trying to determine what the rules will be. And this is gonna be live for everyone, hopefully tomorrow. So if we don't hash this out right now, then when do we do it? So I apologize, because, I know Dan's probably saying she's gonna make this meeting long.
Let's just get it
I
right
don't
the
mean
first
to
time.
do it,
No,
right?
no.
Yeah, this is.
I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to
No.
delay the meeting. I just want to make sure that we don't miss an opportunity to help people, that this is, the whole reason why we did this and I allocated this money to this group is because we wanted to help small, disadvantaged, marginalized, businesses in New Iberia.
I have a question.
okay, I don't have it in front of me and I don't know what it says. So read that again about
right,
the definition.
it's the same here.
I have two. Pass this to you.
Okay, you want me to hand it to him?
I have two.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, go ahead.
Me?
And, well, okay. I'm sorry. So then, Oh, is it, do I still have the floor?
You still have it, we're waiting on you.
I'm sorry. Okay, so the second one was, the business must have decreased revenue or gross receipts due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Is the rule saying they must have it, or that is one thing that could actually make sure that they are qualified to receive the funds? Because I'm just trying to make sure that we're clear, because these things are saying they must. Must is a very strong, it means a
I
requirement.
think we're safe. The money was put in place to do this, for that.
That's right.
So we,
That's
you
how
know, we did
businesses work.
err on the side of caution.
Yes.
If we leave it like this, then we know they were impacted.
That's correct, yeah.
Then I'm spending the money in the right way, that I can't get in trouble and nobody can come back later, because we know that we got the money because of the pandemic. And look, we got very broad with our interpretation, and kudos to everybody up here. The plan that we put together, we're doing things that I don't see any other community doing. But I want to err on the side of caution, that I'm making sure that when they come, because we're going to get audited, that we can say, yeah, you gave us the money because of the pandemic, and we gave it to the people that were impacted, and that we could prove were impacted by the pandemic, because that's why we got the money.
No,
So
I
that's kind
agree.
of my mindset of.
I agree, but
you
then
know,
some of the rules changed, remember? Some of the rules changed along the way, because everything wasn't ironed out in the beginning when we got the money. Then some of the rules were relaxed toward the end. I just want to make sure.
I know, but when we
Yeah.
got approved, and we were way out of the box, everybody else was doing broadband and sewer and water, okay? Because that's boring, number one, but it was safe, okay? And we went out on a limb and said, we're gonna help our community across the board, all right? So I wanna go by what we adopted. In other words, we adopted that, we haven't made one change, which is remarkable and is a credit to every one of you. None of us have played games, well, I'd like to move that money. There's never been a debate about doing anything different except the plan we adopted. So I guess my mindset is kind of stuck. I want to
Hey, I
be
understand
safe
what you're
and
saying.
do, you know,
And
I
I
don't want to get in
definitely,
trouble.
I don't want to leave us exposed, but I also know that those rules are probably subject to interpretation. But I just want to make sure we help as many businesses as we can.
We're gonna run
That's
out
all.
of money. And look, I get what you're saying. We're gonna run out of money before we help all the businesses
No, I'm saying,
in our
yeah.
community. I mean, you know, we have a
But these are
finite.
these are for specific businesses.
Yes, ma'am.
And so, and I'm just doing this based on our conversation when we had that meeting the other day. I'm trying to make sure that we're all on the same page, because, and again, I was on the phone, so maybe I didn't hear the same thing because of
Yeah,
the
yeah, no,
communication.
it's
It's
tough
just-
to be phoned in a meeting.
But when they had that, all businesses throughout the community had to show a decrease in business to get the
Yes.
money, no
Yes.
matter what.
Well, technically, that didn't happen, because people who got PPP money, some of them didn't even have businesses. Okay? So,
Yeah, I can't speak for those
No.
people.
Well, we ain't playing
no,
that.
no, I'm just saying, I'm not, what I'm saying is that those rules were relaxed. There was some, they were,
They were abused.
I don't want to say that, but what,
No,
all
but
I'm
I
saying
mean,
is
you know.
that the rules, I just want to make sure we help as many people as possible. This didn't appear to be, when I read it, it didn't seem like it was what we decided on, and when we ended that meeting the other day, I just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. And if the answer is that it has to stay the way it is, then okay, I'm just trying to make sure that we're all on the same page, because that was not my understanding when we ended the meeting the other day.
Yes, sir.
So I think, and Didi, you bring up a good point, but I think if you look at the eligible businesses, pretty much everything is cut and dry, except the business of revenue receipts due to the COVID pandemic decrease, and the moderate income level to the low income level services. Those are the only two things we can validate. Everything's cut and dry.
I don't know that and I didn't read all the rules, but I don't even know that it said it must be a brick and mortar facility. I think
Brick
that
and
was
mortar's
our
easy to
rule.
validate. I mean, brick and mortar is what
Agreed,
we
but in the day of technology, internet businesses are pretty, but
Yeah.
again, we've already decided that
Yeah,
brick
that's
and
what I thought,
mortar. What I'm just saying, the rules weren't, we interpreted some of these rules the way we wanted to, because we decided brick and mortar.
Right. So, okay, so, and we had, so let's say let's use the one that says the business provides service to the low and moderate income individuals. So if they fill out an application and come in front of you, what are your validating facts? How are you gonna validate that business? What are you gonna ask them? What are you asking them to provide to you?
So first of all, that was one of my issues.
Yeah.
The business must provide services.
She hadn't
So
got
if
to that
I,
one yet.
yeah, I haven't gotten to that one. That's actually my third one. That's a
was-
problem.
that's
I
my
got a problem
question.
with that one.
That was my
Because that thing is saying, we're saying here, the business must provide services to low to moderate income individuals. Well, maybe I don't. Maybe my clients are somewhere else, but I am still a disadvantaged business, so I don't get to take advantage of this? I don't think that that's what we decided. I think that that was one of the rules, because what if I sell, I don't know, baskets, and I sell them to people all over New Iberia, Main Street, whatever. So because I'm not selling to people in low-income areas, I don't get to take advantage of this? But maybe I am. Maybe I don't make but $39,000 a year. Next time, y'all gonna leave me out the meeting.
No, but seriously, so, in the respect to that is, so what brick and mortar doesn't sell to low-income families, I mean, most everybody does business with everybody, correct? Exactly.
So
That's
my
what I'm
point
thinking.
is that the qualifying factor shouldn't be that I'm selling to low and moderate individuals. It should be that I'm disadvantaged as a business owner.
Follow what you
That's
said.
what I'm saying. That should be the qualifying factor. But again,
Okay.
I may be wrong.
Madam Clerk,
We combined two things. It was CDBG and all of the eligible uses that they can do, and ARPA. So according to CDBG, if you do economic development assistance for a for-profit business, it says assist businesses that provide goods or services needed by and affordable to low and moderate income residents.
Okay, but that's CBDG rules. Okay, we just, but here's the thing. When we talked, I don't think we ever said that the business can only serve those customers.
Jeff did.
No, I thought Jeff said that it was one or the other. Like if they weren't disadvantaged, they could serve those people, that low income and low to moderate, and then they can qualify. But I'm the qualifying, me being the business being disadvantaged, that should be the qualifying factor. And I thought that's what Jeff said.
Wait,
I thought he said well, I thought it was the opposite, but.
Okay, well then Jeff
okay,
will
I'm
have
still
to.
trying to answer the first question.
It'll be a
This,
long
I
night.
mean, this is written very unclearly. Okay, small businesses eligible for assistance are those that experience negative economic impacts or
There we go,
disproportionate impacts of the pandemic,
R.
or
Or disproportionate, say that last, after the.
or disproportionate impacts of the pandemic.
It's not an and, it's an
That
R.
says or,
What?
but I remember
I mean, that's easy.
saying, just because that says or, can we make ours and?
And I remember saying, we should stay or. Again,
Can I ask something?
And I remember saying we should say and, because I'm trying to keep it as tight as I can that I don't have any trouble.
Exactly.
Well,
you following
I
the
mean,
rule.
it's written badly, so,
Yeah.
it's not clear, but disproportionately impacted small businesses. I guess if you have one category that's negative economic impacts, that's the actual impact. And then disproportionate impact seems to be a pretty fuzzy definition. Treasury presumes the following small businesses are disproportionately impacted by the pandemic, and one of those is small businesses operating in qualified census tracts.
That's it. That could be the
So-
qualifying factor.
I think that could be a qualifying factor. It also says small businesses operating in the U.S. territories. I mean, it's got all kinds of stuff here.
But when we
Tribal
talked that day,
governments.
that came up, and I'm almost
Can I read
positive
that again?
that Jeff said it's an R. I mean, I couldn't see because I wasn't in the room with you guys, but I thought that's where we landed on R.
And I said and would be safe, but anyway,
It's,
I'm.
and I agree with both of y'all.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think we
And
agree
would
with
be
both of
safe,
us.
but, it is not, small,
No, none
eligible
of
for,
this
I mean,
is.
the
This
whole
is-
point of this thing is, pandemic impacts on small businesses. I think it's a stretch, I don't know where we get our guidance, but I think negative economic impacts, actual negative economic impacts, or disproportionate impacts, which they kind of define here. It says small businesses are disproportionately impacted by the pandemic, presumed to be small businesses operating in the qualified census tracts. I think you could probably do or,
Exactly.
but I don't think you have to do or. That's up
Thanks,
to y'all. No, that's up to
I was
y'all.
almost there.
That sounds exactly like our conversation the other day.
I know.
So you
Well-
pick one and I pick the other. That's what happened. Was anybody?
And
else
you're
in
the
room?
mayor, and I'm not.
Oh no! Who else was there?
Laney and
Man.
Jeff, the four of us.
Now, I do
I
think,
wasn't in the meeting.
Yeah.
I do think over all of this, you've got the requirement that this be for people who are needy.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Because that's the state constitution, we can't give money away. So there are rules that we have when the money comes in, and there are rules that we have when the money goes out. We have to follow both sets of rules. So I think this is reserved for people, and I hate the word needy, because it's kind of vague, but that's what the Constitution says. So I think this is reserved for needy people.
And what's the definition of needy? We're asking.
We have.
Is there
There-
a gross revenue standard, or is there a personal income standard? Is that needy from a tax return perspective? I mean, how you classify needy?
You can look at medium income.
Well,
And that's what- you're gonna use the
I
median?
don't, I don't
We
think,
could use
I
median
don't,
income.
there's no definition in the Constitution, but it does say you have to have criteria when you start out with, and usually it's economic need.
Okay.
Usually it's economic need. I guess you could have a medical need, but,
So Jeff, economic need is classified as a need that you lost sales due to COVID. That's needy. You lost sales due to COVID.
But that's not the only thing. I could just be in a census tract where,
Just one of,
Right.
you're one of many.
okay, listen, in
It
the
not be a
end,
needy business, and you lost money.
That's what I'm saying. You're a
Well-
needy business.
in the end, I'm gonna do what the council wants. I just wanted to point it out because it felt like we were gonna miss out. We were gonna miss an opportunity to help some businesses, and I thought we had come to a different, decision when we met the other day, but again, I'm only one voice. If three people say that's what we're doing, then we had voted that they had a loss, so
Well,
I can
but-
lose here.
that meeting was, you were the only council member there, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, so
Yeah,
it's
we,
not
we
like,
just started laying it out.
yeah, it's not like a
Bring it here for
decision was
everybody. Yeah.
made at
We
that
really
meeting.
didn't make a decision, because that's why we gotta bring it to the council
Yeah, I mean, I thought
It's just
we had
a
a
lot
decision on what we were gonna
to.
present.
And that's what's bad when you got just one council member there, because it's gonna get hashed out here.
Yeah, it's
Regardless.
always gonna get hashed.
Because all of us gonna feel like,
Yeah.
let me say what I felt, what I would've felt that
And you
day.
should, and you should. We just started saying, okay, let's just put something together.
But I thought
That's fine.
there were some other people invited. They just didn't come
Well.
to the meeting.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
I wasn't- I
Yeah,
don't
I
remember
mean,
being
that's-
invited,
that's-
but, you know, I could've overlooked
So,
it. I could've overlooked it when it came in,
satisfied?
but I don't remember being invited to that. But it's okay. I like the list.
But Didi,
I got one
Don't-
question I want to ask a
you
question.
go
To
ahead
DA.
first.
What are we trying to accomplish? That's all I want to know. What are we trying?
I'm
what are
trying
you-
to make sure that we don't miss out on an opportunity to help more small businesses that are disenfranchised, marginalized businesses in our community. Because in District 2, District 5, and part of District 4, and part of District 3, we have census tracts that show that we have a lot of disadvantaged people. So the way the rules are written now, we're going to, some people will not qualify for the grant the
Some
way it's written today.
businesses
Some
will
businesses
not
will not qualify
and
for the
Why
grant.
won't they qualify?
Because maybe they were,
That's the question. for
maybe
me.
they were not in existence on March of 2020. Because this is saying they have to be in operation before March of 2020.
Okay.
That's
So if you
one.
got into business, and listen, I'm listening, I'm hearing, and I was like, this is a good debate. I was enjoying it. So if you wasn't in business during the pandemic,
This says you have to be in
Right.
business before.
before, but if you got into business after the pandemic, why did you get in business? Why did you take that chance? That's my thing from a business standpoint.
Okay, so
So that's all I'm saying. If you got in business after the pandemic, and this may sound crazy, hoping that something gonna come down the pipeline to help my business out.
They are
People
not
don't
doing
think
that.
like that, but I'm just saying, people do think like that, but we don't know it because they won't tell you.
they didn't know anything about this.
I know, that's why I'm saying, hypothetically, this is what I'm saying. If you know that the economy is not good and you're getting into business, all right?
But I just went
Why-
to school and
I
got,
understand. No,
and
listen.
I to be a hairstylist,
No.
and now I can finally go back in the
No.
shop, and I'm not gonna do it.
One at a
Hold
time,
on.
one at a
No,
time.
listen, and I'm in
I'm
the hair
answering this
business, so
question.
I can tell you about the hair business. 35 years worth
No,
of
no,
information.
I'm just
No,
saying.
listen.
Yeah, okay.
Through all
One at a
kinds
time,
of
one at a
things.
time.
But what I'm saying, nothing like the pandemic though. That was a lesson. But what I'm saying, and the lesson is, if you was in business, make sure you pay your taxes and EIN and all that business stuff you should have, so you can receive resources for, what you went through, even for hurricanes. You don't have EIN, tax ID, DBA, IRS. You don't have that, you don't qualify for resources. You're not considered a business. Occupation, like all that. So that's a quick, free one for those that's trying to get in business, small business. What I'm saying is, if you got in business after the pandemic, right? It was all over the world news. This is a hard economic time. If you got in business during those times, you probably got in business to benefit off of the money that was coming down the pipeline anyway.
I don't
Well, listen
agree.
what I'm saying. If the economy is not good, as a businessman, I didn't go to business school, but I hard knocks.
Yeah, you did.
If you get
Hard
into
knocks.
business at an economic depressed time, what kind of business are you getting in? You're probably getting in a business that's going to support those times. For example, PPP stuff, masks, those type of businesses were popping up. Hand sanitizers, even the stock market was winning with telemed and all that kind of stuff. You're getting into business because it was it's the writing on the wall. I'm not arguing your point. I want everybody to get served too, but I'm saying I'm kind of confused as to why we trying to spread it so thin when there are
Right.
businesses that were impacted. You follow what I'm saying? I'm just saying, if you got in business, I think I made that clear, but if you got in business after the pandemic, or if you got in business during the pandemic, something was wrong with you.
Well,
Or
let me
something
ask
was
you a
right
question.
with you.
No.
Or something was right with you that we
Okay,
didn't know.
Let me, can.
So
may I
I'm
respond?
just kind of confused as to why that's a big deal. is
So
all I'm
my
saying.
thing is, I was in beauty
I'm
school.
done.
Okay,
I've done
you
my
can have the floor.
Okay,
I
yeah,
got-
he
know.
was
No,
asking me
you're
a question,
good. I'm done
so,
my
I know.
yeah.
We got a bunch of people
So I was
here
in
now.
beauty school, and the pandemic hit. I just finished. My intention was to start doing people's hair.
Okay.
And so finally, they lift the restriction, so now I can have one person in there and do that person's hair. And so now I'm able to make a little money, but I can't make the money I could have made if there were no restrictions at all. So what you're saying is that if I got in business, that's what I'm trained to
No,
do.
let me back up. I agree with that example. I agree
Okay,
with
then-
that example. I agree 100% with that example. I wasn't
Okay.
knocking that. That's a
No,
great
but-
example.
okay, so that's my point.
actual impact.
Yeah, that's actual impact. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. So we can't say that somebody who got in business in 2021, 2022, they should not benefit from this.
Okay.
Because they weren't in, and this is my whole point, they weren't in business before March of 2020. We're not gonna be able to, I think we're gonna eliminate those people. They're not gonna qualify. That's unfair,
No, but
in
that's
my
actually,
opinion.
that's actually a great example.
Exactly.
Because they shut the schools down too.
Exactly.
They shut the
I
schools
just
down.
so if you think about it from that perspective,
So now my next
you-
question is, why are we not targeting these people, and how can we target these people?
well,
By just
what I'm
changing
saying
the
is that
language?
I'm trying to get them to change the language because the language would eliminate them from being able to qualify for this program.
Okay.
That's the only reason why we're having this discussion is because when I read through it, 3 of these things that was on the list, when we talked about in the meeting, I thought we came to a different decision. When I saw it, I'm like, whoa, wait a minute, that's not what we decided. So we're gonna have to hash this out because we want this program to go live tomorrow. So we're gonna hash it out. We were supposed to hash it out today. I don't mean to keep the meeting longer, but this is important for the people in the community. So that's why we're having this conversation. The language would eliminate those people who started in 2021 or 2022 doing hair.
So basically, I'm in carpentry school. They shut the school down. I'm in carpentry school in what, 2019 or 2020?
2019, maybe I'm finishing off in 2020, and
And
I
I finally
can't
get my
start.
business license
Exactly.
in 2021 or 2022.
Exactly, and now I can't start because the
Because
pandemic says I can't go and do work at people's houses.
So you're saying we should afford those people access to this?
I'm saying if
I
they're
agree.
still a business, then they should deserve to get this grant.
Yeah, I agree.
That's all I'm
I
saying.
agree with you.
Okay.
I
I
have
just
two,
needed it because I was confused.
No, this is fine. This is a great conversation. In case anybody else was confused, now they know exactly where we're coming from.
I got 2 points I feel I should make, okay? And this is fun. This is what we do. This is government at work. We only gonna be able to help 21 small businesses.
Right.
Okay, it's $7,000 apiece, and we'll be able to help 21. So each council member will theoretically contribute 3. If you don't have it, I mean, but we can only do 21. So other people, someone is gonna be, we're a big town, somebody's gonna be left out. So just kind of want to put in perspective that this is gonna help 21 small businesses at $7,000 apiece. Now, if we have money left and somebody just needed 5,000, well, we can help 22, you know, what I mean, but the max is gonna be 7,000 per business, and so when you do the math, that's 21 businesses. Just to keep that in perspective, when we talk as if we might be helping 100 businesses,
No,
I
no,
kinda
no.
just want it out there that that's all we can help.
But,
The other thing, and I have just one more point.
okay,
What were the dates of the, what are the dates of the pandemic?
it started in, well, when we got the announcement was March.
2020.
Kind of shut it down in March 2020.
And then when did it end?
Has it ended? Because COVID's
Well, I know,
rising
that's the
again.
million-dollar question, I'm just
No,
curious.
I think they said it ended last year sometime.
Yeah, that's
They
what I
ended.
thought.
Okay, so,
Okay, I was just curious, that's my only two things, and Jeff, you had a comment?
Yeah, I just don't, we just can't be giving stuff to people who are not needy by
Right.
some kind of definition that we
Right.
can come up with. So, I mean, if you're a small business and you're opening up now and you're not needy, I don't think we can give it to you. And it seems to me, the question is, what's the priority? You know, is the priority the people who are actually hurt by COVID? Is somebody who's actually hurt by COVID gonna get bumped because you got somebody who applied before, who started a business after COVID, but is in the census district? I mean, I think you gotta have actual need. And if we had millions of dollars, I think we could talk about, you know, serving everybody, but we're not gonna run out of need here.
No, that's what I'm saying, with 21 grants,
okay.
we're
I
gonna
mean,
have,
you
you
know.
know.
But
we
keep
will
in
not run
mind,
out.
the census tracts that will qualify for this. You don't have that many minority businesses in those census tracts. So yes, this is important that we don't leave out the ones that are actually in those census tracts, because we could potentially not have 21 businesses that qualify in those census tracts. Yeah, so I mean, we have to, that's the only reason why I'm making a big deal of this, is because I want to make sure that the money goes to the people who we originally targeted.
Wait, so most of the need is not in the census tract?
No, I'm saying there won't be as many businesses in those census tracts because these are low-income people.
I agree with her. And I'm gonna tell you why I agree, because when I was with Southern Mutual Help, helping out, trying to get money out into the community for businesses, it always was hard to find businesses that were ready to receive. They were doing loans from, small business loans. It was always hard to get enough businesses to apply because they didn't have what they needed to be considered a business. So,
Do you have to put a date, or you can just put COVID-19?
Well, that's the point I'm trying to make, is this particular date is gonna leave out a lot of people. And so it doesn't, we decided that was the date. I'm saying that is one thing that we have in our power to change. So should we change it?
in other words, and Dita, I'm so glad you brought that point out, because when we started, I was somewhat confused. Jeff even admitted to it, and he didn't know he was confused. I said, okay,
confused.
well, I'm in good company. I'm glad you brought that point out, and the examples you gave was great. So, and Dan just kind of like hit a home run. Can we just say COVID-19?
Well,
no,
Say
really.
much, or just say a little bit.
So-
Hey,
You validate it if you don't put a date. That's my.
So when did the pandemic end?
they
Oh,
say 23, but,
23. I think they made the announcement in 23.
yeah.
I don't remember the
So
month.
started in 2020, and the announcement was 2023.
Okay, so could you say the business must have been in operation before, not the beginning of the pandemic, but the end of the pandemic?
Right.
Yes.
Because you could go into business during the pandemic and miss this deadline.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
That's the point I'm making.
Good point, Dita.
Yeah.
Still be affected by it.
Yeah,
Still be
Right.
affected.
actually
No, no,
affected.
no.
Yeah.
And I think if we make the priority the people actually affected, we're gonna have plenty.
So we need to know the date of the end of the pandemic. The day the governor lifted everything and said we're going back to work.
Well,
Is that the date?
I mean, you can use that as a date, but I mean, you,
Would that be the date?
no, I don't think so, because the lockdown ended before the pandemic ended, I think.
is
But
there
not all
offici-
businesses could operate when the lockdown lifted.
But is there
That's what
an
I'm
official
saying.
date that the
Correct.
pandemic ended?
Yeah.
I think there probably
all I'm
is.
asking.
I'm asking, I'm not saying.
No,
So, is that a consensus? I'm trying to get us there. Is that a consensus if we say whatever the ending date of the pandemic is?
Yeah.
Can everybody live with that? Jeff,
Can
does
live
that
with that.
cover us, that what we're doing works?
I can
think-
live with that.
Laney says it's May 5th.
May
May
5th
said what?
of,
It makes sense?
May
May
5th,
5th of what,
May
Lane?
5th. Oh, I thought that's, I'm sorry.
May 5th, 2023.
2023, is that when they made the announcement?
2023?
Health organization said that.
Okay.
But they still have to demonstrate,
Yeah, it's still
And
got
they still have to
proven
demonstrate
decreased
need.
revenue.
Yeah, we still have all the
That's
need.
it.
We still
So
have
that's
all-
good.
Okay, so,
Cut y'all, man. That's good. You opened it up, and it's gonna be dwindled back down because they gotta meet the,
yeah, but you open it up by about 3 years.
Which is good.
that's good.
We're
okay,
still targeting the same group of people.
Pass that down.
And now we're giving more people an opportunity to qualify.
Right, in case we
I
miss
think
some because.
Before
we don't
the,
have
before the end of the pandemic, I think it's
proper
fair.
okay,
information.
let's do that.
I'm good with that.
Fine with that.
Yeah.
If everybody's good with it,
Gotta have a date somewhere, so let's let it be that one.
As long as the feds say we can do it, I'm fine with it.
our attorney says we still covered, that's all I care. I wanna do this, I wanna give to my community, I want us all to succeed, I just don't wanna get in trouble doing it. So if we think that's it, then that's a good answer, that's a good compromise. So we can forget about and/or and just put that date and
Okay,
we
wait,
roll.
that's on number one.
But you
Alright.
still gotta
I know.
demonstrate need.
I know,
Yeah.
Okay.
still gotta demonstrate
Still
need.
got 2
No,
more.
no, okay, so the thing is that, and let's go to number 3, because that's probably easier.
Yes, ma'am.
Are we putting the date, May 5th, 2023?
If we can confirm that's the date that they looked at the.
Unless we're told that this is the date we have to use. Is there anything that
Yeah.
says we have to use that date?
No.
No,
Okay.
okay. Then I would say whatever date is the official end of the pandemic. And there was an official end and it wasn't
Yeah, okay,
that long ago.
That was it. That's what she's saying.
okay.
May 5th, 2023.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's one item down of 3. We'll move, what's the next one?
Okay, so the business must provide services to low to moderate income individuals. I think we ought to scratch that altogether.
I think so too. Because the only businesses that provide to low to moderate income are nonprofits
Exactly.
that provide services to low to moderate people. Think about it. What low to moderate person, they don't have a low to moderate product.
So, and that,
Exactly. I mean, Marlon, you could make, you actually serve everybody, anybody.
so Dee Dee,
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna actually agree with that, and that's what I was saying. I think that is very difficult to validate.
Exactly.
I mean, you can become in hot water,
Exactly.
I think.
I agree.
Okay.
So I think we ought to
I think,
scratch
I
that.
think you can circle back to gross revenues. You look at their gross, if their gross revenues went down during that period, then they were affected.
Right. Or if they would have to shut down. Then you know their revenues, like, Councilman Lewis, he had to shut down. So how could his revenue not be affected?
And that's right, his gross revenues will show that.
Exactly.
So I think,
Yeah, no, you can have
And
some
what we
businesses.
wrote was the most cautious I could
Yeah.
write.
Listen, I agree.
So,
It's just, and
we get in
again,
trouble, we're gonna play the meeting.
No, no.
No, I'm picking on y'all.
But,
We
okay.
all in this together.
If you have
come and
a
get me and
prosperous
arrest me.
business,
I guess,
if you got a prosperous business that serves people who are well off, and you had a decline in revenues, then you're eligible for this.
yeah.
Any decline in revenues?
what we saying?
if you got a
Well,
profit.
you have to be in the
You sold fewer,
And you have to be in
See
that
that?
census
You have to
tract.
be in a
Okay.
census tract.
are
And you
we,
have to be in the census tract.
Yeah.
okay.
So keep in mind, you have to be in the
Yeah.
census tract. That's another qualifier.
So we might not be helping a needy business.
And
Yes, you would. You have to be if they're in the census tract.
What part of the city is not in the census tract?
Main Street.
Not very much.
Not very much, I'm just saying,
That's what I thought.
not very
I thought
much.
that too.
Not very much.
But we also, when we
We
talked,
already-
I thought we said we were gonna look at income
city.
too.
I see, we're not poor.
I don't remember that.
When we talk about income,
I didn't.
I'm talking about the 3 people that were in the meeting with me the other day.
For this, we talked about 3 different programs. too.
Yeah, that's the problem. We
got-
talked about
we
3
got
different
2 more coming
programs.
after this.
Yeah.
One more.
Come here, while y'all think. Again, I'm gonna use the barber shop in this last line, and I'm gonna use the barber and beauty shops. I can't leave my
Yeah.
other counterparts out. I mean, and she made a point. We do service low to moderate,
Everybody, yeah.
income people, and that's a service that people need. And I'm sitting up here thinking, we give away that service if we have to. And I can think about some other businesses that probably, daycares maybe. That probably,
Exactly. That had to shut down.
Going back to, I don't know a lot about the daycare business, but going back to Miss Velma Lee and stuff and how she used to help people and give them, let them stay there for a week till mom get on their feet. That's servicing low to moderate income people. So I'm
But-
saying that to say that sentence may have a place.
No, my thing is that, but what if you your barbershop is where you are now, but you only service people for whatever reason, your clientele all got money.
They ain't coming.
So, I'm
Just saying.
So, Didi,
Okay, no, okay, can you just roll with me on the scenario?
Yeah,
I
you
gotta put them in
got
their place sometime.
So, okay,
Y'all roll
let's-
with you on the scenario.
let's reverse the
I gotta
rules.
tell some of my well-to-do people who left the hood, I gotta tell them, y'all come
Let's-
see us sometime. Go
Marlo,
ahead.
let's reverse the rules. Let's take Marlo's barbershop and put it on Main Street. Now he's not in the census tract. He qualifies everything else, but he's not in the census tract. I mean, right? Am I right?
No, you
I'ma
make a
use
very,
that
you make a
again.
very
If I'm on
valid
Main
point.
Street,
But no.
then the people I got now, they ain't coming.
Marlo, I'll go. Really, Marlo, come on.
I like
Okay.
that.
No, but
I
I'm
like
saying,
that.
you
And
know,
then
if
you're
you
gonna be
flip it around-
impacted.
No,
And then you're gonna be impacted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
'cause
you
they
were
didn't come.
impacted.
Actually,
But you were impacted
actually,
in the census
I
tract.
love this
You know?
place. I ain't gonna lie.
Ricky,
Just-
I'm sorry, Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas.
No.
You make a very valid
I thought so.
point.
That's what I'm
You
saying.
do. So that's why there needs to be an income qualifier in this thing. Because let's say he is on Main Street, and yet, you know, they cheap. They don't give you no tips. You only make $20 a head, and so you're still making the same money you'd make if you were in the hood. Okay? So, the neighborhood, I apologize, you're
know,
right
I
about
said
that.
that earlier. I was
Yeah,
joking.
yeah. But you still make the same amount of money, but it's costing you more, so you're still needy. So he makes a valid point. He should still be qualified for it, even if his business is located on Main Street, because he's still a disadvantaged business, because he's not making the amount of money that maybe Ricky would make.
I'm just surprised.
Because Ricky makes more, he makes more money. So
So we saying
I just think he has a valid point.
But
I
are we
think Ricky
saying
makes a
that-
valid point.
Are we saying that the business must provide services to low to moderate income individual? Are we saying that?
No, I'm saying we should scratch
No,
that.
we all, the consensus
We
seems
need to
be-
scratch that.
I think we should
We're
scratch it.
skating on thin ice on that one.
Me too, I agree.
Yes, sir, Jeff?
It doesn't say only low to moderate income.
Right.
And there are not many businesses in this town that serve only rich people.
No.
But it said
no,
the
'cause we're not a rich
business,
town.
this thing says the business must provide services. No, it shouldn't, that shouldn't be a qualifier. That's all I'm saying. It shouldn't say they must provide services to low to, because they need to meet other qualifications. So if Councilman Lewis is actually, if he actually qualifies through everything else, but he's serving Dan,
Only Dan.
and Dan and,
Only Dan.
and,
Only
you know,
Dan?
and
Servicing
Ricky
me.
and
Yeah,
Jeff.
I don't go. He's not
Maybe
getting
all
me.
his people are lawyers.
Keeping my money.
We don't have enough hair to keep you in business.
Hey, look. He's
But-
waiting
why
on me.
you- look, that's
If
why
he's
you
waiting
can't
on
charge
me,
him
he's
that
impacted.
So Marlon wouldn't qualify under this. So Councilman Lewis wouldn't qualify. So we should take this. I think we should scratch this one.
So in other words, and I got where you're at. So in other words, as long as you are a employer, a business owner that is, low to moderate income business owner, or that have those needs that we're talking about, it don't matter where your business is.
Right.
You should still be able to qualify.
Or who your
So
clients
it's not based
are.
on where you're located at, it's based on what you brought in and what you stopped bringing in.
Correct.
I don't know how,
But you could do income qualifier.
okay, how do you
City
do an
attorney?
income qualifier for businesses of different sizes?
That's exactly right.
For an individual, you can say, give me your
Right.
tax
And we
return.
have that for individuals, but
Yeah,
for
but we don't
business,
have it for businesses, and a
can't pull
business could
corporate
have
tax.
5 employees or 1 employee or whatever. What's your test? What's your criteria?
That's
yeah.
You don't
That's
have-
why,
you
that's
don't
why
have-
we didn't include it for business.
You don't have the federal poverty
figure.
figures for
Right,
businesses,
and we're using that for the next one, but not for.
because that's what we usually use for things like that.
All
That's
right.
what-
Well,
I'm
we all
dragging this
agree-
out
we-
too
but
long,
we
so
all-
I'm
we
not,
all-
because we go down a whole nother road there, how we could qualify that, but we're gonna go ahead, because we got other things to do.
But we
I just
all-
wanted to make this point, whatever we
Okay,
decide,
so-
I'm good with
So
it.
we scratching, we have
We
a
all agree
date,
to scratch.
we have a date, everybody's cool with the date, and it looks like we're scratching. My clerk doesn't agree. It looks like we're scratching,
You'll leave me at the meeting next time, huh?
no, looks like we're scratching that item,
That's second to the last one.
second to last.
But I see that it's not
Yes, ma'am.
saying that you
Correct.
You only do.
only serving
Right,
those
It's saying that
people.
you service those people.
Right, you could
Every
have
business
two
serves- every
clients.
business serves.
But my point is that what if he actually is in the census tract, he meets all the qualifications, but he does not serve anybody low to middle, no, low to
But
moderate?
that's what they're saying. They're saying that it doesn't say only.
I know, but it says you have to.
said
It
must.
said you must service those people. What if you
Some-
don't? No,
Some,
it says you must.
yeah, but some people, your whole clientele doesn't have to be,
But this is saying
Low
you
income.
must provide, so what if you don't provide any for those
Somebody
people?
said something earlier. I don't think there's a business in town that services only rich people and only poor people.
Name
But you
one.
don't know that.
They don't have not.
Ain't not, you can't name it.
Okay, you can't.
But you don't know that. We're all making an
Can
assumption
we
because
change,
we're not
change
thinking
it,
of one.
change must to some and we can move on?
That's fine with me. I just don't want it to say must.
Well, I'm just trying to make it go.
Business must.
Because what y'all, we're
Must
just
to
trying to
some.
make the rules
Yes, ma'am.
inclusive
why
of
we do it.
everybody.
This is important.
Okay, all
I mean,
right.
it's fun and we getting there slowly, but this is important. We're
And
doing some
look,
good
Dina,
work.
In defense, we're all trying to help the most we can, and possibly can. That's all we
Absolutely.
doing.
That's why we're having this conversation.
And anything we do here is not gonna be right or wrong. We're gonna help people.
Jeff, can we
Exactly.
move it to some?
You could say must agree to provide some
Right.
services to low to moderate income.
There you go.
Okay.
So
Okay.
they're not closing the
Okay.
door. But I
I'm
mean,
good with that.
Everybody good with that?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
I'm great. I'm doing my eraser. I already had my line through it.
and I had a question a long time ago.
Oh, yes, ma'am. Go ahead.
My question was for the very first one. The applicant must be an owner of, let's see, of
The
the
business?
business. Business, what are you, are we just are we talking about a nonprofit?
No, ma'am.
About occupational license people.
No. People with occupational license, people that operate a business.
I think it could be a sole proprietorship, doing business as, it could be an LLC, it could be a corporation, it could be any of those things. Could be a partnership, the business entity I don't think matters. And I don't think you have to be incorporated or anything, but
Right.
I think you gotta operate as a business. Yeah.
That,
Well, one thing it could say.
you had.
Oh,
Council-
sorry.
Some
Councilman Ledbetter.
nonprofits do kind of, act as a business. If you think about it, you register with the state, you can incorporate, or you can become a LLC as a nonprofit organization. And you qualify as a business.
I don't know how
Yes, you do.
I don't know how you can be a business if you're a nonprofit. I mean, I don't know what this, I think this is intended to help people who are trying to make money.
I think so. And if they make money, they reinvest back in our city.
I mean, I don't think this is for nonprofits.
That's not who we were targeting.
With nonprofits, you mean? Or
I
not?
said we were not
We-
targeting
right.
nonprofits when
Yeah,
we
that's
did
right.
this,
We were
yeah.
Not with this money, for sure.
This money for sure.
Okay, did you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Okay, thank you.
Just a question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
And Ms.
So-
Ledbetter, I'm with you 1,000%. So, and I know, but
Some services. To some. Yeah. Who had the floor next?
I'd ask next.
Okay, yes, ma'am.
So she did make me think of something I hadn't thought of earlier was, okay, must be the owner of the business, but could they be in a partnership?
Partnership would work. Yes.
Okay, all right, I just want to make sure that
We
people,
just have two owners.
Yeah.
Right.
Occupational license.
yeah, okay. I just want to make sure we say that, so people
Okay.
know that if you're not the sole owner,
Just a
you
sole
still
proprietorship.
qualify for this.
Absolutely.
Is
no,
there?
watch this.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna bring this point out Ms. Ledbetter brought out.
Okay.
Masonic Hall on Ann Street. It's a business. It operates as a business. They rent rental spaces to the public. They rent to churches. Have had held church there. People give parties there. They rent the building as a business. And let me tell you, we were affected tremendously by the pandemic. We were shut down. We couldn't rent, we couldn't do anything for a long time. So that's where we at. That's where I'm at.
Where I was.
Tremendously.
I don't think that's a business.
No.
And we talked about that. I'm bringing it out.
Y'all have an occupational license?
I think we might.
Okay.
Well,
No,
you're
you
a
probably
nonprofit.
don't.
You don't pay
We
taxes.
we different.
And you
Let me
don't
just
pay
say that.
taxes.
We're
taxes.
we grandfathered into everything. We've been there since 1901 or whatever. That building was there in 1974.
Right.
We were chartered in the late 1800s or
So
something like
is
that.
a church a business? I don't think so.
No,
I-
churches is a business, but the churches don't rent, they don't rent their space out.
Some
Well,
do.
some do.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
someone
Some
do
do.
to other church, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Some do.
It's just, it's a
And
can of worms,
their
but.
revenues definitely went down during the pandemic.
I mean, I think if you're tax exempt,
Mm-hmm.
this isn't for you.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a good point.
Anybody else? Are we wrapping this one up? Okay, then,
I have anything else, I don't know. Those were my three.
Just to reiterate my conversation, I did ask the mayor to put some packets together once everything's finalized so to go out to businesses.
certainly will.
So we'll have packets to bring out to our businesses.
Every one of you will have the application, the packet, we'll put it online.
The introduction.
Yep.
Use
I'd
social
like
media.
I would like to hand deliver them so we can explain to them. So
I
that's,
think that's fine. I think that's a good idea, actually. Great, so then I would ask you, wait,
We got any,
got it good. Anybody else got anything before we vote?
don't have,
Are we voting on the changes?
Yes, we're gonna vote with these changes, and adopt.
Wait, yes, just so we
Yes, ma'am.
check. Okay. May 5th, 2023, and the business must agree to provide some services to low to moderate income individuals.
Yes,
That,
yep. Everybody's good with it?
so,
So,
Yes, sir.
so,
Yes, sir.
just, so when we do get all the applicants in,
Yes.
you said we're gonna meet in front of the whole council at the Slyman, or who's gonna be the selection committee?
I think it should be this council.
That's what I'm asking. Just so
So
we-
we had kicked around that,
Okay.
you know,
Now, you just said, a while ago, 3 per district possibly.
right. In other words, I just divided the money and said what was an even figure in the 7,000. But I don't know that that's really gonna work. I allotted it and that's how I came up with the 21. But you might have a district that gets more than, I mean, we doing this as a group and it's all for our city. But I realize with the demographics of our city, you might have a district that gets 5 and a district that, I can't control that. It's gonna just be by the applications, but I did use that formula to come up with the $7,000 per district. But
Just
I
that
don't,
if you have more than 3, I represent the whole city, I will let you have one of mine. How about that?
and we'll just have to work that out, and we can only do 20, I mean, we are gonna leave, unfortunately, people behind, because
Sure.
I think there's gonna be more need than we have money.
Absolutely.
But, you know, my idea was the applications would come in. If you don't qualify, your application gets thrown out. That's an easy one. If you don't make the cut, you don't meet our list that we just worked an hour on, you know, you can't apply, you can't get it, okay? So we put those off to the side. Of the ones that we have left that make the cut, that are part of it, we are gonna have to, that's the hard part of this. We are gonna have to make some tough decisions. We can do it here, we can do it at the Slyman, we can do whatever we want, but that is the next step after we get the applications and weed, you know, my staff will be able to weed through them and see if you don't make the cut. If you just can't make the criteria, then, you know, you can't. But the stack that we have left, I think we, you know, as we've done everything for the last 7.5 years or the last 3.5 years together, however long you've been here, we gonna, you know, you gotta cut the cow to get the steak. So we're gonna do it together because that's how we work the best.
man, one question.
Sure.
On that sentence, the business must provide services to low to moderate income individuals.
We changed that to say that they should to some.
Right, so does the sum go before services or before low to moderate? Pay attention.
Yeah, no.
The business must provide some services to low to moderate income individuals. The business must provide services to some low to moderate income individuals.
You know what,
I think it really means the same thing.
Yeah, I think it's the same thing.
I think it's the same thing.
I do.
I think so. I think so.
I don't, but it's
Lane,
okay.
you still my friend?
You don't think it means the same thing?
But I mean, that's okay, we ain't gonna deal with, we'll go with it like that.
Okay.
All you gotta do is to provide some services, you don't have to provide all of your services, just some.
Yeah. Well, then we could get into the definition of what's some. You know, we'll never get this done. You finished?
All is some. I think it's fine.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
So,
That was a good point there.
instead of saying they must provide some services, could we say something like, provide services, including something to, and, you know, you gotta wordsmith this, including low to moderate income. Because I have a problem with that word must, because to me, we're making,
Right, that's why we took it out.
okay, I know, no, you added it back.
No, must is in there.
Well,
But
must
we
is still
expressed
in
the
there.
whole thing.
I had said scratch must for some and leave
Right.
it alone.
But I guess my thing,
But it got rid of must.
But
okay,
I
so,
wasn't grammatically correct.
okay, I guess my whole point is, what, I feel like there's a more positive way to put this sentence in there as a qualifier that doesn't say they must do something, because I feel like, once again, if you say you must provide some services to low to middle income, what if I don't? And how am I gonna qualify that? So we shouldn't put anything in here we can't qualify, so how am I gonna qualify who their customers are? So why would you make a rule you can't qualify? So we gonna get a list of all your clients that come get their hair services? We can't qualify that, we should take that out.
Unless you say must agree to provide some service.
But why do I have to agree to
Because
do
that's what they
that?
say.
Because
we
we're
need
trying to
do.
help poor people.
But I may be the
That's the
poor
target.
person. What if I'm the poor person? Why do I need to help? I'm just gonna go after lawyers. I'm the poor person. I'm sorry, okay, you see what I'm saying though? I'm the poor person, I just want lawyers for clients. Okay, all right, whatever you guys decide. I made my point, I'm done.
Put whatever we need to get the money.
Yeah.
That's what it's about. What we need to put to get the money.
Okay, well, I need, we got
Last
it.
question,
Yes, ma'am.
hopefully.
Okay, yes, ma'am. I heard that before.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
my understanding is we're not giving the money, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct.
So we need to make that clear up front.
Okay.
That these people are not getting $7,000 cash to do whatever they want to do with it.
No, we have to.
We are
you're exactly
purchasing
right.
whatever they need to improve their business.
Yes, because we have to follow our procurement, thank you. We have to follow our procurement processes, so, what's that?
Well,
not
something.
But we have to, we don't have
There's some
public comment.
stipulations on that.
We have to spend the money, because we have to follow the city's procurement process. So, yes, that's a valid point, and that's something that I forgot to bring up, that nobody gets a check. Because we have to make sure that we spent the money in our proper, fashion, the way our rules say we have to. Thank you, I forgot about that. And that's a very important point. Is there anything else?
Me,
Yeah,
sorry.
oh, no, don't be sorry.
Just for public clarification, must have a brick and mortar. That could be operating out of your home, right?
Yeah, you could have a home-based
Okay.
business as long as it's
Okay.
brick and mortar and you have an occupational license, which
Okay.
means you'd have to go through the process and if you already have an occupational license, you are a business. You have a home-based business or,
And the applications are due August 2nd. That's like final?
No.
That's in a month.
We're changing it, but
Okay.
it will be a month.
yeah, it'll
Oh.
be a month.
We
Okay,
have to get agreements and stuff.
No, it's okay.
gotcha.
No, look, you're part of this. It has to be a month because we got agreements to get. We have to have that list. We have to have people selected because we gotta have names before the end of the year.
Okay,
So, yes.
all right.
It'll go out on Monday.
What's that?
It'll go out on
Yeah,
Monday.
and this will go out Monday if we approve it.
Now, how are we gonna advertise this?
We're gonna use social media. When people see this meeting, we're going to give each one of you packets. You can give them out by hand. You can use your social media. It's whatever we can do to get it out there.
We're gonna put an ad in the paper?
We can put an ad in the paper. I was thinking that too. Yep. Anything
You
further?
gotta smile.
Oh, look, yeah. Oh, yeah, love that. Anybody else?
We can't do this without,
The Broussard?
we can't do this without the people. So anybody has an interest, any kind of way, give us a call. All of us up here, so that we can put you in the list.
In front of the,
So you can't say we never told you also to come aboard and let's get this thing going.
All right, well, with that, I would ask you to vote your machines. Thank you. Government at work. All right,
next.
the next item will be another discussion. 3J,
Oh, shoot.
let's roll.
Resolution number 2482, a resolution creating the administrative process for the One Block at a Time Home Repairs for Seniors, Low-Income and Disabled Communities, American Rescue Plan Act project.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, and a second by Councilman Marlon Lewis. I'm gonna ask the question, is there any discussion on this item? Everybody's digging in their packet to
Okay.
find the rule. Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed.
I don't have any problems with the rules. I just want us to make sure that people understand what can be done. We're gonna
Yes.
do operable shutters, handicap ramps, minor carpentry, exterior painting, and landscaping.
Yes.
But I feel like we did a good job with kind of coming out with the rules for this.
And this is one we talked about at a meeting a long time ago, and then we've kind of fleshed this one out.
Yeah.
And this one, just to put some context to it, it is, we'll be selecting 36 homeowners, and their project cannot exceed $25,000. And it's exactly the same. We're putting a lot of work on the city staff. It's exactly the same, that the city has to take bids, the city has to spend the money. A citizen does not get the money. With all the things that we do with ARPA, we have to spend it. Yes, sir.
No, just to refrain, we're gonna need the information together so we can hand out to individual homeowners? or-
Yes, yes,
Okay.
this has the same thing.
So you have
We
it in the packet as well?
We have rules, we have,
Okay, I read through it, okay?
yeah, we'll be putting together the, application, and, yes, ma'am.
But we also said that people can come to the mayor's office to pick up the
Oh,
application.
yeah, definitely on all these things.
Because I don't know that we're gonna be able to get
No,
that
no,
to
no, we're
everybody.
gonna give
Yeah.
you some, because
Yes,
somebody's
people's
gonna,
gonna
you're
stop by
gonna
our
see
house
somebody
or
at
something.
Walmart, you're gonna
Yeah.
see somebody somewhere. But the plan is to also, of course, have them here.
So,
Yes.
but so we can tell them to come up to the.
To mayor's office,
Mayor's
right.
office and pick it up. Okay.
Yes. So, yes, sir.
So what is the income test? I mean, do we have,
We have an
were
income
using-
test for this one.
We were using HUD.
okay. Because we say underserved,
Mm-hmm.
elderly, disabled, or low income. I don't know what underserved is.
That's what's before my time.
People in the census tract.
Or what if you're disabled, not low income, because it says R?
It should be
Yeah, it couldn't be and, because you
Yeah.
wouldn't be all
Yeah,
those
yeah.
things.
I mean-
No, I'm not, you know.
You,
But they could look into it a different
Yeah,
way.
yeah.
You
No,
know, I am
look, I'm not-
disabled.
I think you have to be both.
Okay.
Because this money is supposed to target low-income residents. It is not for
Right.
Yeah, you still have to
people who are
prove.
disabled.
Okay, just wanted to throw it out there.
No, you're right, you're right.
But you could be low income but not disabled.
Correct.
Yes. Or it could be both.
Okay, all right.
Thank you, bro. That does make sense.
I think it's, was it 30, what was it, the thing,
It depends on
30
household
something
size.
Yeah, it
thousand?
depends on your household size.
Yeah,
You know.
it's, but I think it's 1 to 4 is like 30, anywhere from 36 to 39, and then from 5 to 8, it might be like in the 40s or something like that. I think that was kind of where it was, close to
I
it,
think you're close to that.
yeah.
So we say that somewhere in here?
Yeah. Yes, we have a chart.
Yeah. Yeah, we have a chart.
I don't see a chart.
But I do think,
No,
well, because
follow-
on the application, she's asking for the income. So
Yeah, they-
once they put their income in, if they don't qualify, they're gonna take them off the list and say, you don't qualify.
Right, but I think if we're gonna approve this, we need to approve whatever the test is gonna be. So the
Okay.
test
All right,
is.
she's looking it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Laney.
Now, that question about underserved, I mean, all of them are, underserved is more, I don't think underserved is a actual status as much as it's cliche. When they talked about the underserved communities, I don't think it's underserved as a status.
Yeah.
Because,
It really, they're talking about low income.
they're talking about income.
Right, it's
Low
really
income.
income. It's a nice way to say low income.
We will,
We just gonna come out and say low income.
Yeah.
yeah, we're just gonna say low income, and we will include the chart.
What year of low income? Because each year fluctuates.
Oh, now you,
Not-
okay.
Okay,
We're gonna include the chart. We looked at the chart, we looked at HUD, we looked at what was low income. Our clerk just brought up a really cool question. What year are we gonna use? Is it gonna be now? Is it gonna be from the pandemic time? is it gonna be in that same, no, I mean, she brings up a good
That's a
question.
very good
That's a very good question. So what year of the chart are we gonna use? Cause it changes every year.
It does.
2023.
Yeah, when the pandemic ended. That's kind of what, but I just.
Yeah.
I
No,
didn't want-
that's a
I
very
didn't wanna
valid
lead the
question.
witness, but that's what I was thinking, just just use the 2023 chart.
I
So
think,
we'll include a chart and,
but we're talking about current income. We're not talking about where you were in 2020. We're talking about current income, right?
23.
yeah, well, it'll be
When it
23.
ended,
the
remember,
last-
we used the.
That's the last
And it's
one
also
we
the
have.
last current tax.
It's also
Right.
the last one we're gonna have.
Yeah,
So
it's the
we'll
last
use-
current.
We'll use 20,
Tax return.
23.
Yeah, you know, if you got a 24 tax return ready, we don't want to deal with it.
Yeah,
Then we got a problem.
yeah, we got a problem. Good, thank you, that was cool.
Good catch.
Good catch. Okay, so is there any other discussion on this item? Hearing and seeing
Fred,
none?
real quick, minor carpentry, I didn't wanna bring up minor carpentry, because that can be a major conversation.
Right.
Minor carpentry,
It's really just to fix rot that we're gonna pay.
that we're gonna pay.
Yes,
All right.
yes, very
We're not
simple
really going
stuff.
inside of the home.
We cannot go in and we're not doing any
That's the
roofs,
question.
and we're not going inside.
Not doing, that's what I wanted to
I
get.
understand.
Because some people think their roof is minor.
Right, no, the roof is not minor.
No
and our
roof is
insurance-
minor.
And our insurance, no roof is minor, that's right, and our insurance company won't let us do roofs. We
Right.
already went round and round with that.
And no inside work.
No inside work.
AC unit from here.
No, in this, no.
Defines what low income is and what we're supposed to call it.
Okay, we're gonna do 20, last thing, on the chart, we're gonna do 2023 unless Laney finds something that ARPA defines what low income is, okay? So that's what we're gonna do, because we have to follow, we got the money from ARPA. Thank you, Laney. Anything else? Then, if not, I'd ask you to vote your machines. No, we cooking with gas, thank y'all. This is fun. Let's see, we gotta figure out where I'm at.
4A.
Okay,
3K.
amended.
4A.
3K.
No,
Amended.
Okay? Oh, that's right.
Oh,
Got
yeah,
an
3.
amended agenda?
Yes,
Yeah,
3K.
3K, I'm sorry.
Yep.
3K.
Resolution number 2483, a resolution awarding contract to Chandler Staples for engineering services related to the Center Street Sidewalk Project and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas, who had the second?
Mr. B.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I could
Nobody
hear.
had it.
He had it? All right,
whispered.
Councilman David Broussard, way to go. Is there any discussion on this engineering contract for the sidewalks?
So glad y'all get this thing pushed forward.
We are, sir.
You know, I might see it before I leave.
You will.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Any other discussion? And please vote your machines. Thank you.
I'm gonna put a resolution, name it the David Broussard Pathway.
3L.
Resolution number 2484, a resolution awarding contract to Han Enterprises Incorporated for the District 5 and Street Park Playground Equipment Project and authorizing the mayor to execute any and all documentation in connection therewith.
I need a motion.
Motion.
second.
Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed and Councilwoman Deidre Ledbetter, 'cause she didn't have any tonight.
She got it.
And this is Dee Dee's money, Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed, this is her money that she's using in the park.
Yes.
David, show us
So,
what we get.
We have some photos.
Yeah.
I gave it to everybody.
The larger playground equipment was included in the capital outlay project, but the smaller equipment is one item we're adding in the additional play space of the mulch and borders. So that's an expansion of the playground for the Ann Street project. And then we have a photo, or it's just another perspective.
You want the rest?
Yeah, and then this is that's the workout equipment.
Yep.
That we'll be adding a similar company that was at Bank and West End and provides multiple stations. And so this is the fitness zone adjacent to the playground equipment and basketball court.
Right. This is gonna be great.
Yep. You can use an app for it.
Awesome.
And the Mayor Pro Tem divided his money between everybody's district.
Thank you.
Anyway,
Appreciate it.
and we thought we were hooked that we had to do a sign, and it was gonna be a neon Las Vegas sign, because we had way too much money for the
We
sign.
wanted people to
So
see the
this
sign.
was really good, because I think the playground equipment's a much better use.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
But we are gonna have a sign. It's just
Yes,
we won't
there's a
have
sign.
the,
Yeah.
the neon
Or for a
sign.
minute, we thought we were gonna have to have a $60,000, or whatever it was.
We're gonna light up the whole place.
Yeah,
With the
yeah.
sign.
It's gonna be neat.
Any comments, questions?
Another
It'll be
question
great.
about
Thank
when-
you.
when- I saw they breaking ground, well,
Day two.
started grading and
Day two, day two.
Yep.
started grading, so that's gonna be pretty,
We had 120 calendar days for them on construction.
okay,
You know, there's gonna be rain delays, but
right.
I think they'll be probably ahead of schedule. This contractor's pretty diligent, so
So we're talking fall,
I'm thinking, yeah.
because I want to be here to cut the ribbon.
That's
Oh,
right.
there you go, there you go.
I'm just messing with you.
Cool.
Well, we're excited.
Yes, very much.
Excited.
If there's nothing else, please vote your machines. Thank you. 4A.
Introduction of ordinance number 2024-20, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute an agreement with Bayard Habits and Associates for the 2024 City of New Iberia road improvements projects and setting for public hearing on July 16th, 2024.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and second by Councilman Marlon Lewis. This is the new contract for our bond money for our streets. We had already agreed to pay the contractor a small amount, the engineers, a small amount to get started. This is now for me to negotiate the total contract so that we can get moving, so that our streets can bid out hopefully the end of the year. Questions, comments?
So once we approve this, when are we going to start meeting to talk about which streets in each district?
We have our engineer here. He's been through the routine once already, so let's bring him up. And he showed up to do it again. That's pretty good.
Could let you sit back there all night.
Yeah, that's it.
He's gonna
Correct the
wait.
record. Real quick, I'm your project manager, not your engineer.
Oh,
That's the
see,
project
Mr. Mayor?
So, don't credit me with titles I don't have.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
So, we asked for district list, priorities that you may have. We've taken that. The first thing I did is I had to scrub the list because the district map changed. So
Right.
that shifted a lot of streets in probably 4 of the 6 districts. So that took me a little while to get that straight and reorganized, just so we could have an accurate list. So basically, we took the list that we received at council, we looked at the priority from the previous evaluation we did, and we've actually evaluated more streets than we're gonna get to bid out. But when I come to you, I wanna basically have financials that okay, this is updated financials, because, the stuff that we gave you 3 years ago, the cost is not the same.
Right.
So we're trying to give you real life, up-to-date figures, so we can nail down streets in each district. So this is gonna go on the next agenda for final approval. I got a little bit of work to do for geotech to get those going, but I'm probably targeting sometime in August to have meetings with all of y'all.
Okay, excellent.
So, and we're gonna have multi-phase, it'll be multi-phase, we have to still nail that down. I've submitted to the city how I think we should do it, but that's just a recommendation. So, we wanna basically get the reconstruction streets out first as a standalone project, because those have the most unknowns.
Okay.
You can run into the most issues with those, get those out first. So, but we'll hash all that out when we meet y'all, but it'll be sometime in August that we call for meetings with y'all to go over everything. I'll have everything finished estimating by then, on the streets that we've kind of pre-picked. And that there's a street that we don't have, and we can evaluate it and come up with an estimate, I wanted to have at least a 90% completed list when I sat down with you could look at and go through and, give me your priority of those priorities.
Okay.
So,
Are we
now that we
using,
know the dollars.
yeah, are we using the same contractors, or are we going to bid this out?
This is all gonna be
Oh,
brand
no,
new
we
bid
have to
out.
bid it out.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
Yeah, this is
Okay.
all be brand new public bids. The geotechs, we're gonna bid it out as soon as we get all this in place. We'll get some RFPs out for those services. 'Cause I need to get them in to do some preliminary investigative work to try to avoid some of these issues we had the last project. Try to nail down some of the problems we had, now that we kind of have a good feel of what we're gonna run into. So, but construction will be all different. It could be the same contractor, it depends how the bids come back, but we're gonna publicly bid every one of these projects all out new.
Okay, cool.
Anybody else?
Mayor, I got a question.
Yes, sir.
This is about an initiative that I brought to you. He probably can answer it. I had the contractors park their equipment on some property on Anderson Street in my district from the last road project,
sir.
and the lady said they rutted up her property real bad. and she didn't get compensated for it, and she was wondering, how does she go about getting compensated, whether it's a load of dirt or whatever it is?
She has to work that out with the contractor. That's a civil matter between them. The city, nor us, we don't get involved in where they park the equipment. We give them sites that the city owns. You know, most of the public property, public parks for them to utilize. If they make an agreement with an individual landowner, that's outside of our purview. We don't manage that, and the city has no actual responsibility for that. So they need to call the contractor. I mean, I know that was an issue. They went and they dressed up, that there was multiple properties that
And
they
that's why I
used.
asked for one. I'm sure it happened more than just that
Yeah,
spot.
but I mean, we typically, when we get the complaint, we'll give it to the contractor, you know, we give them the information and say, you know, you need to contact the landowner and work that out. But, you know, at the end of the day, if there's an issue, that they're not satisfied, they have to call that office and work that out with them.
And that was Glenn Leger, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Especially this far out. I mean, if they were still here, they were
Right,
under
that's right.
contract, I got a little bit more, you know, forced to put a
Forced.
thumb on them, but, I mean, they're a year gone now.
No, I could see
So,
that.
I mean, if that's something they had worked, and then that's something we can talk about where we force them to sign some kind of,
Yeah.
agreement in the future if you choose to go somewhere outside of a public piece of property.
I think that's a good idea because that would protect our citizens.
Yeah.
And of course, we know we're raising our liquidated damages.
Yes.
Bingo, that was my
Yeah,
next question.
Yeah.
That's a kind of a given, you know.
Yeah.
There's
We-
gonna be a schedule of liquidated damages
Yes.
on these next projects.
Good,
It's not
good.
just gonna be one
I
catch-all.
agree with
There's
that.
gonna be situational liquidated
Good,
damages.
good,
So,
good.
but to answer your short question, that she would have to or whoever the people are, they would have to contact Glenn Leger directly, to get that resolved.
Can I get a contact number from them
Absolutely.
where I can
Yep. I can get
pass
that
to
to
her and
you.
have her contact?
I can get that to you.
Anybody else? Yes, ma'am.
Well, let me ask you a question. John, if somebody, like that particular company, does this and we have lots of complaints, I mean, do y'all like hold that against them? And, I mean, would they still be eligible to bid because of the fact that, I mean,
Yeah, you could not, I mean, again, that's between two private individuals. It's not city's business, it's not something we can really regulate, because they made a deal with a private landowner to use a private piece of property to park equipment. So, I mean, that's something they would have to work out. I mean, you couldn't legally hold them from bidding on the project. There's very finite things that would kick that in.
okay.
Honestly, I'd have to kick that to Jeff, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, some people are not responsible bidders, but it's pretty tough to document that
yeah.
in the bid process, but I don't think they're not a responsible bidder just because they had a dispute with a landowner about some damages like that. I mean, that'd be tough. That'd be
Okay.
tough.
And if
Now,
you're a
just to get
landowner-
a lot, not just that
Right.
one.
And if you're a landowner and they're on your property, you don't want them there, call the police.
Okay.
Get them off. I mean, you know.
And if we,
have that
That's the problem. She didn't live here. She just,
I understand.
that's her problem. That's the
and
problem.
keep in mind, if we throw out, a low bid, the city pays more.
Okay.
Anybody else? No? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines.
John, when can I get that number so I can?
I'll get it to Laney and she can, email it to you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank y'all.
Thank you,
Thank
John.
you. 4C.
Ms. B.
Oh, 4B, I'm sorry.
4B.
Special,
I'm
introduction
rolling.
of special ordinance number 2023-2024-25, an ordinance amending the budget to appropriate funds for the 2024 City of New Iberia Road Improvements projects and setting for public hearing on July 16th, 2024.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed and Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte. Is there any discussion on this item? This is putting our money ready to go. Questions, comments? And I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Now we move to 4C.
Introduction of ordinance number 2024-21, an ordinance authorizing the mayor to negotiate and execute an agreement with the Low Brooklyn Neighborhood Association related to the Neighborhood Investments American Rescue Plan Act project and setting for public hearing on July 16th, 2024.
Do I have a motion?
Second.
Councilman Dan Dahl and Councilman Marlon Lewis. This is a $60,000. We have 3 neighborhood associations. Each one will get $60,000 of ARPA funding. It is the same situation that we have to spend the money. They come up with a project, we spend it to keep in line with our policies. And this one is for Little Brooklyn. Questions, comments? Yes, sir.
And we're putting the money into our property, right?
Yes,
This is,
yes.
That's what I was gonna ask, with this money, with this spending.
Yeah, we actually, I think we have a sketch.
yeah, so this is,
Yeah.
so they're kind of directing this they're kind of saying, we'd like you to do this project in this area,
Correct.
but we're doing something we could do anyway.
Yes, yes. So it's a win-win. And so we're
Yeah.
doing a walking trail and a bench, I think, but mainly the walking trail.
That's great.
So we'll get it drawn up, we'll through our same, procedures, we'll bid it out, but it's coming.
Okay.
Anything further? Yeah, walking trail.
We still need to meet with them.
And then if there's nothing further, please vote your machines. Thank you very much. 4D.
Introduction of special ordinance number 2023-2024-26, an ordinance amending the budget to appropriate funds for the Sucrose Drive wastewater treatment plant headworks upgrade and rehab project and setting for public hearing on July 16th, 2024.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Excuse me, Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed, Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. This is to put the money where it goes. Remember, it's $2.5 million from the low-interest loan, $1 million from ARPA, and $500,000 from the TIF to round us up to $4 million for the Headworks project. Any questions or comments? And I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you. 4E.
Introduction of special ordinance number 2023-2024-27, an ordinance amending the budget to appropriate funds for the fiscal year 2023 LCDBG clearance program and setting for public hearing on July 16th, 2024.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Second.
Councilwoman Brooke Marcotte and Mayor Pro Tem Ricky Gonsalas. This is the $500,000 money from the state to do our demos, which is awesome.
Yes.
Questions, comments?
So when we going out for bid?
I'm not positive, but it's coming.
This
We got- Yeah, I think it will definitely be this year. Definitely,
Excellent.
definitely. Anybody else?
So we should see some homes demolished this year.
I'd say end of the year. They have to go out for bid. Then you have asbestos
Asbestos.
testing on all of them, which we awarded that contract. You don't know if he's gonna do a few at a time and release them, if he's gonna wanna do all of them. But I would think he'd do them in batches, so probably he's gonna do them all? Okay, well then that'll be a little bit of a holdup. So probably the end of the year.
Okay.
Some of these projects
Yes, sir.
have been on for years to
Oh,
do.
yes, sir.
So I hope some of those get to the front of the line. They've been waiting for years to get done.
Well, these are the ones that people volunteered to put their houses up to be done, or businesses, or, whatever. Okay, there's nothing further. Please vote your machines. Thank you. 4F.
Introduction of special ordinance number 2023-2024-28, an ordinance amending the budget to facilitate budget adjustments as recommended by the auditors and setting for a public hearing on July 16th, 2024.
I need a motion.
Motion.
Councilman Marlon Lewis and Councilwoman DeeDee Johnson-Reed. Discussion on this item.
Just moving the money around, right?
These are budget adjustments that came from the auditors or that we had to make, yes.
Okay, I thought so.
Questions, comments? Then I'd ask you to please vote your machines. Thank you very much. Now we move on to our last item, 5A. Madam Clerk?
Discuss recent announcement of CLECO rate increase. Deidre Lett.
Councilwoman Ledbetter?
Well, everybody should know it's my pet peeve, CLECO. And I did send out, I gave everybody some information. And the first part is what they filed for this in June of 2023. So when we signed our agreement in November of 2023, they already knew that they were increasing our rates. And these new rate increases took effect on yesterday. So during that process, when they asked for the rate increases, they asked The second page talks about what they actually asked the commission for. And the commission voted a couple of months ago, because I did talk to our commissioner, Mike Francis, and he said it was approved by a 4-1 vote. One person voted no for it.
How did he vote?
He voted yes. The next page is kind of blurry and all, and it shows the current rates and the proposed rates. So it's going up, by kilowatt hour. They have the grouping again and all. The next page kind of is a little bit better, and it's larger. So it's going up, the current rate is like $9, and it's going up to $12. And they're also going to, go up on, like the 1,000 kilowatt hours, and the next thing is the 1,500. So that's gonna be adjusted, as you can see, the numbers. They're all going up. And also, your horsepower is going up 25 cents. I mean, all of the list here, your energy efficient, all of those things are, going up. So my objective with this was to really, reiterate that we would have had 2 years to really try to get a better agreement that we had, but we didn't. They threw money at us, and we took the money, and now we are continuing to suffer the consequences. So the deal is, we are actually paying back what they gave us, They're gonna get it back several times over, the 1.75 that was given up front for the 27-year contract. So the next administrations are not gonna have that opportunity again. The contract could have been a lot shorter, and then room to negotiate, because a lot of people said that there was no negotiations. But on part of this, when I was reading it, it said that you can dispute different things. So it's not like you couldn't have the agreement that we got, and maybe more than that, through negotiation over this 2-year span that we gave up. So I'm kind of disappointed that we hurried through and we signed the contract and all, and we could have gotten a lot more because we had leverage then, and now we don't have any leverage for the next 27 years. They have us over a barrel, they really do. And this was in the works before they came, so say in good faith to negotiate with us. They didn't say that they were doing it, and they had done it. By the time they came to negotiate with us, they had already pretty much filed for it. And they didn't mention any of that, and they said that all these good things that they were gonna do when they came, because they did come, so say to negotiate. And I don't think that they have followed through with what they said they were going to do. They said they were gonna patrol the areas for our streetlights, because we pay for the streetlights. And in the second to the last page, the third to the last page, talks about the luminaries, and that's going up also. I mean, these are the new prices. So I'm just saying that I'm just so sorry that we squandered 2 years that we possibly could have had to make additional changes. And some of the people here on the council were so anxious to go on and do that. And sometimes we need to stop and think for the long term, how are things gonna go? Because sometimes it looks good at the beginning, and then it's like an apple, you're eating your apple, and then all of a sudden you get to a rotten part when you get close to the core. So we need to, in the future, in signing franchise agreements and such as that, get all that we can get. And hopefully not hinder anybody in the future from also trying to do that, other administrations, because we've hogtied them for quite a long time. When really the agreement could have been as short as 15 years or 10 years. So you could come back and make some negotiations, because in that time frame, rates are gonna go up several times probably anyway. But now, I'm gonna start watching it closely, because they always file with the commissioners, with the Public Service Commission. I'm gonna really start watching it much closer, so when they file something like this, we can actually, fight it. We can come up, of course, it's gonna cost a little money, but I think our constituents are worth it. Our city is worth it. If we don't fight for the people who live here in our city, nobody will. So hopefully, we look at the information that I have taken some time to look through myself, and maybe next time, just take it a little bit slower, because I know there's gonna be another time, for sure. And like I said, everything that looks good and shiny is not gold. And pretty much that's all I have. Any questions about the information given? Hopefully you look through it. And we can make complaints too. We can do some complaints. There's a way that you can do it, and you can go before the commission. But of course, we would have to do that as a group or as a council, and do that. And that's something that maybe we should look at in the future. I'm finished now.
Thank you, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
So, I would say that the way to kind of solve this problem in the future isn't necessarily, I think, battling out with CLECO. It is about the voting box. We need to vote Mike Francis out of office. If we want to change, we want people who actually care about the citizens, then use your vote. Don't vote somebody in office. I hate to say this, but rich men who are bored, who get on these commissions, who don't have, it's true, they don't have any idea what it feels like to pay an electric bill that actually you maybe can't afford because you got medicine. But, these rich men who don't have anything else to do with their time, they get on these boards, they are not connected to the people. So people, when you go out there, vote, and vote these kind of people out of office. That's what you need to do. You vote them out of office, because New Orleans did something. They voted their guy out of office and put a nice younger guy in there who isn't some rich man sitting up there with tons of money and who doesn't have to worry about, paying his electric bill. And when you talk to this guy, you can tell he is really trying to make a difference. So for the people in our district, our job is to vote this man out of office, get somebody qualified in there who will take into consideration all the people in the state, not just the people that's his friends that all have businesses, that all have money. That's my comment.
Thank you. Jeff, you had your hand up.
Never mind.
Okay.
I don't want to add to this. No, that's fine.
Mayor.
No.
Yes, sir.
No, I agree with Ms. Ledbetter. Thank you for, I guess, and there's nothing we can do. I know, I voted for the contract. I was looking at what we were getting, for now, the 1.7 million.
$1,705,000.
And, you know,
All went to the crime
what we
cameras.
did it with the crime cameras and stuff like that, I like that idea. If I had to do it again, I probably would do it again. I didn't know. I just feel like this power industry is big business, and it's hard to fight big business in America. Very hard. Matter of fact, I might run for public service commissioner.
You should.
Okay.
I might. I'm in Region 4. I don't know. I might. I'm not announcing my candidacy. I'm not announcing it, but, you know, I think about stuff like that, what you said, you know, I know that's like the same thing with the congressional, you know, seat. It's probably the same district. So it's a big race. You gotta have a lot of money. You gotta have a lot of supporters to win that seat. And you gotta know that in order to get there, you gotta have connections with the power companies and all those people that give up money, stuff like that.
Or you take
But
the
I was looking
grassroots
at-
effect.
Huh?
Take the
Yeah,
grassroots,
yeah.
grassroots. That's what the other guy did in New Orleans.
Yeah, and also, I saw, you know, I looked at the news media. I don't like to put people on. I don't care where they come, what walk of life they come from, big or small. But I saw Mike Francis, I saw our public service commissioner on television, and he's like, I couldn't believe it. He's like feeling sorry for Clico. If we don't raise this rate,
Exactly.
they're gonna go bankrupt. I'm like, this
That is
company ain't
not
going
true.
bankrupt. You know, it's like,
That's why you gotta change the public service commission.
you know, but, that's one of those fights, though. That's one of those fights.
That's, yeah.
But it's nothing really we can do about it now, huh?
Until the next election.
Really nice election.
So people start thinking about, do you want to be a public service commissioner? Maybe it'll be Councilman Lewis. But if not, you know, we need somebody who's who wants to get up there and really help us fight for our people.
What else do they do?
Govern all
Get
public
richer?
service.
They regulate other
Govern all
stuff.
public service providers.
Yeah, all utility.
Cable,
Yeah.
everything. That's pretty
Public
much,
service providers. Anything that's provided to the public.
Right.
And they do
They're
some
like,
hauling and transportation stuff too.
And Slimco just announced that they're lowering rates, so this doesn't look good.
Well, I mean,
I might go in as the Robin Hood candidate, because this reminds me of,
Can't get off.
yeah, this
He can't get
reminds
off.
me of like Nottingham, you know, like they just taxing all the poor people and the rich people.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like.
Robin Hood. Cool. You done?
Yeah, I'm done.
Thank you,
I got
sir.
it.
No, you don't have to be. We got all night.
I don't have much to say on that other than,
Okay.
you know, it's a shame,
Yeah.
man. That's a shame.
so just on a note, you know, I think, you'll bring up great points. And listen, all our constituents, you know, deserve affordable, low-cost, high-quality energy, no matter what. And to bring up your note about Slimco dropped their hurricane rate fee off because they have paid all their hurricane damages. Well, lo and behold, Clico's rate was originally $13.13 per 1,000 kilowatt, and they dropped it $7.75 to bring it only to $5.35 because of a settlement they made. So they gave it back to the people. And I bet y'all didn't know that out of the 14 public service utility companies in the state of Louisiana, Clico is the third lowest. So we're getting some of the lowest price power in the state of Louisiana. And did you know that out of the nation, Clico is one of the number 5 companies that provide the most reliable energy source in the nation at 99.9%. That days that you're requesting power, you're provided power. So for what are we getting? We're getting a good quality company that provides our people with good quality service. Now, it's like anything else. I mean, we would all like to see grocery stores prices go down. We would all like, and myself as well, but at some point in time, we know that this government body cannot control that type of price increase. That's way beyond our stretch of governance. It's just the PSC.
Right.
And so, you know, and exactly what you said, you need to go to the governing body. So without creating a false preset that, you know, to the people that, hey, this government can vote to lower your power, we cannot do that. All we can do is sign the franchise agreement that was put to good use in crime cameras. So I think even if we signed it then or 2 years down the road, this rate increase was going to happen, regardless what we did. So I think this council made a great decision in taking the money and putting it to protecting our citizens with the franchise agreement sooner than later. But on another note, you know, since Clico's rates are going up, I would like the people to be aware of all the programs that Clico's offers, and all they have to do is engage as individuals. I mean, just to say a few, they have the Touch program, they have the Power Wise program, they have the CARE program, they have the Sharing Fund, they have the Billing program. There's opportunities that you can go as a constituent and get your energy bill reduced at some rate to help you afford those energy costs. So let's not forget that, you know, CLECO is reaching their hand out there to help constituents. So I think that, yeah, it's hard to palate an increase in anything right now with deflation, but something that we can't control, but we can offer other opportunities to our constituents in other ways, but knowing that when push comes to shove, we have a very reliable company in CLECO that's gonna keep the ACs on, keep our oxygen machines on, and all the things that we've talked about, they're gonna keep the things that our people need. And as a council and elected body, you know, we're here to govern services to the people, and this was a big step in the right direction, in my opinion.
Yes, sir. And I'll come back to you. I know you have.
Rick, you sure put a lot of good points up that CLECO's done for this community. And we're in a rock and a hard place. CLECO spent money. They have all the infrastructure. If we ask another company to come in, they don't have the money to buy all the infrastructure that CLECO owns. So, you know, now or 2 years, 25 years from now, I just hope CLECO ends up being a good partner like it's been for over 30 years or so now. I mean, all my life, they've been there. So, in a big way, we just had to do something a while back, and we did it. We got a little something out of it for crime. You know, I hope we catch some people with those cameras, you know, and help the people of Iberia. So it's hard to talk about. Yeah, we all don't like increases. No, but we're stuck in a hard place about who to take on.
Thank you.
Well,
Yes, ma'am.
boo-hoo, I feel so bad for CLECO, you know, they're not as rich as some companies. Basically, you know, your corporations like that, it's all about corporate greed. And they always stick it to the little guy, always. You say these, you know, they're low on the totem pole and they provide such good service. They're supposed to because we paying them. And that's their infrastructure. And I really hope, I don't know if the mayor checked into it, about the side agreement, about the LED lights. Because they're supposed to be replacing all the mercury vapor. And that's also in the information I gave you. They're not supposed to be putting those up anymore. And they're not putting them up. All they're doing is putting another bulb in it and not replacing them like they should. And they are definitely not patrolling, and we don't know where they're patrolling anyway. So we can have a complaint about that part of the agreement and go before the commissioners, because they are not holding up that part of the agreement. I mean, I'm just kind of flabbergasted that, you know, we just boosting up, you know, big companies and all, like, oh, they just so great, and, you know, so we have to pay all this money to keep them where they should be and all. And it's just, it's just kind of sad to say that we are, you know, giving praises to a company that's you know, really hurting our people here in the community. And some of our businesses, like Iberia Medical, last year they had a hard time paying their bills. And they're not in this little plan that they're talking about, you know, about how you can get your rates lowered. The businesses aren't. And that's a business that we need. That's the only hospital we have in our city. And if they can't pay their bills and they have to cut back on something else, that's a problem. So we need to think about those things also. Not, you know, just that we think that they're doing a great job. They're doing what they're supposed to do, and that's what everybody's supposed to do their job. And that's all I have to say.
Thank you. Now I'm gonna do my job. And thank you, every one of you, because this is important. I don't like my bills going up $13. I really don't. So I understand. I own businesses. I have to pay higher utility rates in my business. I get it. What I want to do is just kind of talk about what is being done, okay? So, as of July 1st, CLECO has changed 1,280 lights, okay? And I got the backup information, and I'm keeping track. They have done a couple of patrols. I can't tell you that they've done every one. I know of 3 patrols. They do have, let's see. This is, the New Iberia area performs regular streetlight patrols with each crew having an assigned area to maintain. This covers all major intersections and by request, and we are making a lot of requests. Let me just show you, I take this seriously and so does my staff. Amber takes every light, this is just the last couple of months, she takes every light, she turns it in, we turn it into them, she tracks it, they come back to me and tell me what light has been done. This is a list from 2 months, it's 58, and of the 58, 27 are complete, the other ones are still out. We are also improving, we got a new, it's not a commercial for the company, but we bought a new iWorks program, and it's gonna help track between all my different departments. And so we're gonna end up implementing that, because this is a lot for her to do, plus everything else she tracks. She's the reason that we sent a fine to Pelicans, because she tracks that. So she's invaluable of working those things. I do get lists from CLECO, but I don't really, I go by this. In other words, as she enters them. So they have put up 1,200 lights. In the last 2 months, they put up 58 lights. So I'm keeping track of what they're doing. They're not mapped yet. The next thing, and I know somebody's going to ask me that, I have them by location or by complaint. I want to evolve this, and we made some steps today in another meeting to obtain some mapping information. And I am hoping to use that then we can set the program up where Amber can actually map them. Then we can really look at what's going on. The one thing, and totally with all respect, the one thing that I don't like of painting the picture is that because we made a franchise agreement is why the rates went up everywhere CLECO services. They service a lot of communities. I did a little background, and they are big business, okay? So I did a little background just to kind of put it in context, okay? Not picking sides, not taking up for anybody, just so we can have a reference. In 2014, CLECO was sold for $4.7 billion. That's 10 years ago. I have no clue what they're worth now, okay? But it's a giant company. I always wanted to know, and didn't find out till today, the PSC lets them make 10.9%, okay? So, and you take it like you want to take it. So they had, I looked it up, 736 million and some change of revenue. So they made $79 million, okay? If you take that in reference to other big companies that are worth probably $6 billion now, I started doing that today and Googling and just saying, and it blows your mind when you start looking. I don't really normally do that because I'm worried about New Iberia and worried about doing my job. When you look at what big corporations make, it blows your mind. When you start looking at all the things we depend on and look at what those companies make, I must have done 10 today. I spent my whole lunch Googling, and it's wild. I mean, you can't even wrap your head around it. So I really think, and I don't mean this in a flippant way to CLECO or to anybody else, the 1.7 million that they gave us is not with the kind of dollars they make and the kind of money that they do. I just don't want people from some other community saying, man, the city of New Iberia got 1.7 million, so CLECO raised our rates. They raised their rates because they can. They raised their rates because the Public Service Commissioner has never taken a case about a city's rates. They have never, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. They don't look at that as their function. They've never gone to battle for a city on the rates, and they've never worried about a family who can't pay their bill. That's not what they do. I didn't say it was right or wrong. I'm not being judgmental. So I just want to set the record straight that the amount of profit and the amount of overall business that CLECO and every other utility, because I kind of started looking at other utility companies too, it is all big business, you know? I do realize that you can't get rid of them. We had these discussions that Mayor LaSalle in the 1920s sold off all of the assets that we had. And hey, look, I never judged the other 26 mayors that have been here. They all had stuff to do and reasons to do it. So we don't have another choice. You know, I looked at Facebook today and people were like, because Slimco said they were lowering their rates by $3, I must have saw 50 people saying, why didn't the city of New Iberia go get Slimco? Well, we can't do that. Everybody's regulated, and none of us at this table set that up. Everybody's regulated to a district, and the PSC decided that in the 20s or 30s. So everybody's stuck with, you know, I don't mean to be ugly, but you're stuck with who you got. So I looked at rates. I started looking and saying, let me see where everybody's at rate-wise, okay? Clico's not the highest, Clico's not the lowest. So we all in a pot, and I believe that it changes often. I believe that, you know, at any one time, some company's trying to make a move, trying to buy another company, some new CEO comes in and says, we got to make more profit. It is a constant struggle with utilities, and not just, we're talking about the electrical right now, but when you look at our other utilities, we really have the same challenges. So the economy's tough, businesses are making money, our local people probably make less right now and are in a situation. Why do you think we spent 2 hours tonight with programs that are gonna help our disproportionately impacted citizens? Because they're out there, because it's a real need. So I see the whole picture. I will continue to track what they're doing by a franchise agreement because I take that seriously. Give me a little time, and I think technology is going to help us that we'll be able to map that. But I do communicate with them, and I do ask the questions. Amber documents every call that comes in, and we have one guy who he turns in 8 a week, and it's like his hobby, and that's fine. That helps us. But I will continue to make sure they do their patrols, and that we are honoring what we can. But the grand scheme of things, I don't have the answer to change the whole game of every big business. But I appreciate the discussion as always, and, you know, that's really all I got.
Question.
Yes, ma'am.
You said you had the list and all, and it took them 2 months to
No, ma'am.
change?
In the last 2 months, they did 58. I just wanted to see like if they were on par in the long run. In the last 2 months, they did 58.
But
They-
from the list, you said you had a list that you
Yeah, they're not
turned in?
finished off 58. Yeah, they're about 28 or 29 that they have left. And I'm checking on
So
those
it's
now.
half of them done in a couple of
Well,
months?
in 2 months, they still on track to do a couple of hundred a year. What I don't know, and it does take them a little while, I'm just counting that, like right now, we are owed another list of where some were done. But I don't count them till I get the date. When the date's on them, there probably are more that's done, but they weren't verified yet. So as they verified, that's why I think a map would help and a few other things. But as Amber gets the date, then I up the count. And I go back and look at this to make sure that they don't drive. And every once in a while, they got 1 or 2 that don't get done. So I turn them in again. You can see that she documents in red if it's a second. You know, so we on it. It's just, you know, I want to make sure that people understand that, you know, we all care about this and we're all doing our job to get what we can.
But really, that's not our job, that's their job.
Well,
And-
when
and-
you make an agreement, you got to police it.
Yeah, I
I
get
mean-
that, but, you know, it's kind of, I guess,
Well, it's
we're
not our
taking
job
away
to
from
track.
other stuff,
It's not
yeah.
our job to track as much as we, and maybe we won't have to, let's be positive. It's not my job to track the
I hope,
No,
I
the
could-
garbage
I
as much
hope.
as we do, the, you know,
I can only hope.
the grass cutting. If you think about it, we are everybody's mama, okay? We are constantly, you know, looking at grass, looking at the utilities, looking at the garbage. We spend a whole lot of our day just trying to police what we have and make sure that we're getting the most we can for the tax dollars we're spending. Now, should I have to? Do I go home sometime thinking, boy, you know, the work we could get done and the new things we could do if half of our staff time wasn't spent on this? But, you know, that's just the way it is right now.
Now, have you really checked to see if they changed those to LEDs?
Well, if you read the agreement says, and it does, that they can exhaust their effort with the existing light before they change to LED. And that's what the agreement says. So they can change, I mean, you might not like to hear it, but it's the truth. They can change a light bulb. They have a total of 200 a year that they have to do the LED. So I'm in the process of figuring that one out too, to make sure that I get 200 LED. But I don't want anybody to think that they're not gonna change some other ones unless we want to pay more. Now, after 200, we can pay now to make them LED. We haven't got that far down the road yet, okay? So I want to make sure I get my 200 that are LEDs. If they fix the other ones, they can do that. And then I don't know that I can afford it. We can afford it right now. But the opportunity is there that after 200, we could buy more lights.
We said we were gonna phase that in, so every year, the 200,
Well-
over time, they would get all of our lights, right?
Yes.
That was the,
It
what
just
we,
takes a
that's what
while
we
with
thought.
200.
Yeah, it takes
But
a
that's why I
while.
want to make
Yeah.
sure that they are doing 200 so that we do get to all LED at some point.
So eventually, I don't remember what the break-even point was, but
It's a few years
eventually-
down the road, but
right,
eventually
we'll-
we'd have
we'll
all
have everything
LED.
LED,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, on the flip side, and then I'm gonna quit after this, when we have all LED, our bill's gonna be higher.
Yeah.
Now, we have better lighting and they last longer, but so it's a situation that you do what you can while you can.
Exactly, and
You
it,
know?
that's
But I
another
want
issue
everybody to
for
know
the
we all-
Service Commission.
Yeah, but I want everybody to know that everybody up here made valid points. Everybody up here cares, and we got to. We all live here. We all impacted by anything we talk about,
Great.
Anyway, thank y'all. I appreciate it. Let's see where we at.
Councilman remarks?
Councilman's remarks. Ooh, we finally made it.
Why you keep starting on that side?
I don't know. Councilwoman Deidre Johnson-Reed, thank you.
Now I don't have my glasses on.
Oh, wait, you see?
Okay, so I just wanted to kind of make the public aware of this National Education Foundation grant that has been given to Louisiana. It's $48 million to help disadvantaged people have access to training. The fee is normally $600 per person. They're providing a $480 grant, so it's really just $120. The people that are kind of working on this, they're going to try and get with the different school districts and then the workforce groups. But businesses can also help by, giving people a grant for $120, or that person can pay the $120. And they get access to 10,000 top-rated courses plus 150 certification trainings. They have 12 months to do it. And, they're looking for people in New Iberia to take advantage of this program. So if you have any if you are interested in, having access to this program, they even have things like a lot of IT stuff. You can become a project manager, data scientist. You can learn about AI, cybersecurity, Microsoft Office, all of those things, presentation skills. If you're someone who would like to have access to that program, please let me know, and I can give you a copy of this, and you can reach out to the people. Again, if you can't get a sponsor, it's $120, and you have access to this information for an entire year. So I wanted to bring this to the council's attention. I'm going to try and get the lady on our agenda in the future, because there are more programs. There's apprenticeships, programs that she wants to make available to the people in New Iberia. But I want to kind of introduce this particular program because it's open now. $48 million was allocated to to the state of Louisiana. So I'd like for people in New Iberia to take advantage of it. Thank you.
And tonight I passed, because I said my piece.
Okay, thank you. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just to remind everybody that next Tuesday, they do have an Eggs and Issues that the Chamber's putting on. Everybody's slated to be there to address the crowd, and a little bit different of a change of model. If you have any questions that you want asked to your state representatives, you need to submit it to the Chamber so they can put it in a pool to be asked. So, but yeah, 7 a.m. next Tuesday.
It's so sad.
4th of July is coming up. Everybody, if they can go respect it. We don't have this freedom for free. And we talked about these businesses that can get some of this money. Please call the mayor's office, see if y'all got an application in, if y'all fit the program to, you might get some of this. So please, before you get passed up and hot outside, please take care of the elderly, check on them. We don't want to pay extra bills, but we have to get out that heat. And we wish everybody luck.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, and all seriousness, talked about Public Service Commission, all that, but on all seriously, as it relates to elections, I know qualifying for the upcoming elections are July 17th through the 19th,
Yes, sir.
if I'm correct. Also, voters registration, Dee Dee, we discussed that
Yes.
last night at our meeting. The last day to register to vote for this election is, we had the date,
I think it was October
was it October 5th?
5th, I think we
Yeah,
said,
the last day to register to vote
through
for this
mail
election
or in person with the paper.
is before October
Right,
the 5th.
right. And then if you could do it online, you have a few more days.
Right.
I think that October the 10th
Yeah.
is the last
This
day
is a
online.
very, very, in my opinion, very, and I'm more looking at the national, it's a very important election. We have some good candidates local, I'm not gonna get into that. Wish everybody luck, but I'm more concerned about voters getting out and voting. Getting out and voting just in general, so you can, what you don't like, change it. What you like, bring it, Those are the things that I'm trying to promote. I don't plan on running for anything unless I just wake up from a wild dream on July the 17th. I don't know. But so far, I'm not planning on running for anything. But on a high note for me, man, one of my classmates and teammates, well, he's a year younger than me, Kerry Joseph, quarterback coach for Chicago Bears, got is it appointed or elected, or he got in the Hall of Fame, Louisiana Hall of Fame. So happy for Kerry, man. He's a hard-working guy. He's also, now again, he's a quarterbacks coach for the Chicago Bears. Man, we got some great talent in New Iberia. And this guy's going to be able to open some doors for some young people. And if you don't open up one door, just look at him as a role model and open your own door, because, I just love to see people do well from New Iberia. Kerry Joseph, way to go, buddy. Hall of Famer. That's all I have.
Thank you.
I'm gonna pass tonight.
Okay.
Miss, can I
Yes.
just make one last
You
announcement?
sure can.
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I just wanted to remind everybody that we have another mobile market on July 12th in the West End Park, so please come out. Lots of great fruits and vegetables. Don't come late because they're going to run out, so please come out. We may even have Iberia Comprehensive out there doing blood pressure checks and they may bring their mobile unit, and so if you have some need for, to see a doctor, there'll be a doctor and staff that you can come in and see, and they actually have exam rooms in that mobile unit. So please come out and take advantage of this service that we constantly bring to the West End. Thank you. I'm sorry.
Man,
Thank you.
go ahead, she.
Yes, ma'am.
I just want to say happy 4th of July. Enjoy it and be safe. Don't shoot fireworks in the city limits either.
I just wanted to remind, first of all, happy 4th of July, but I also wanted to remind people that this new concealed carry law goes in effect on July 4th. Be safe, be mindful of that. I just wanted to put that out there, it's out there. Be safe and be mindful, I'm not a gun advocate per se, but the law goes in effect on the 4th of July, so be careful.
Thank y'all. This was a really good meeting. Enjoyed every minute of it. We got a lot done. I just want to wish everybody in our community a happy and safe 4th of July. And we did a lot of talking. So with that, motion to adjourn.
Motion.